I think I was the only one who didn't.
Push the button, Frank. Okay, let's see if I can hear people here. No, can't hear people. Is that what you're saying here? Somebody say something.
Hello,
Something.
testing
Anybody?
My mouth,
something.
my mouth
There we
was
go.
full. I didn't
Perfect.
want to
Thank
talk
you.
with food in my mouth.
We
Let me
appreciate that.
let me get this button pushed. Boop. No, god damn it. This is my backup of the backup and triple backup. Not as effective though. All right. When last we left our intrepid investigators, they were in the town of Saltmarsh. The night before, Miss Eldridge had gone out to the graveyard with Jimenez and Alonzo Shaeder to summon a ghoul, which she did, and he was rude to her. She's supposed to return the next night with some kind of rotten corpse of some kind, or part of a corpse. He wasn't super specific. And then, after going to bed that night, Alonzo stayed up to finish the book he was reading, the occult book, and the other two,
The Magus, I think. Is
yes,
that right?
I believe so. The Magus, yes, read by Alonzo Shaeder. Yep. Um, so you read that. You got your occult points for that, and you now know essentially how to. I'm not. It's pretty basic stuff. You know how to conduct a séance if you want, or
Okay.
use a talking board, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
have the basics of it, so it's essentially the same as a command ghost spell, but you try to get answers from the dead. Um, the other two of you had a terrible dream about a little girl getting attacked by thousands of mosquitoes, engulfed, and there was a man in there too. What the hell is he doing in there? And then um, you recognized her as Bridget Strong, the blacksmith's daughter, and that was not a fun thing to wake up to the next morning. Uh, so yeah, Jimenez, give me a luck check.
49
Is that a success?
is a fail.
A fail. Okay. You have a just typical morning. You have some nice, good breakfast as usual before you head down into town. Since you got like $300 and you're rich, you don't have to worry about working as much anymore. Hutton, you woke up from this strange dream as well. Um, I don't know how you want to go about your day, and the same with oops, I got to change Alonzo's nickname. Um, Alonzo, you didn't have the dream, obviously, but wait a minute, there we go. There we go.
I may have dozed off a bit around breakfast time, but that's about it.
Right. So if you want, you could be sleeping in too, since you spent most of the night reading. But that's up to you.
No, I'll get up.
Okay.
Um, I'll have some coffee,
Yeah, they've
and
got.
then what I was actually going to do was there was a I can't remember which group it is. There's a Native American camp nearby.
There's a quinault. No, they are the Quileute.
Quilut.
Are the well, Indians is how you could say it in the vernacular of the time.
Yeah,
Live, yes, in that little grove in some kind of a small village. It's almost like a suburb of
yeah,
Saltmarsh, from your understanding.
yeah. And someone we saw last night ran in that direction.
That's right. There was a figure. Never got a good look at the figure, although they were wearing pants. It wasn't like a lady in a dress. Took off that way right after the ghoul left, and two
Yeah,
of you, you and Miss Shaeder, you and Miss Eldridge gave chase, but both of you lost your breath before you could catch him, and he ran into the woods and disappeared from sight.
yeah. But I think we also got recovered a part of a footprint,
Yes, looked
and
like a
we're convinced
moccasin,
he's
or
wearing a moccasin
yeah.
rather than a boot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what convinced me that it's a Quilut person,
Yep.
not not a Western descended settler. That they're
Probably
more
not.
likely to wear that kind of footwear.
Mm-hmm. So did you want to
So
go?
I was actually thinking I was going to go visit their
Yeah,
camp
yeah. You could do that if you want.
in the daytime.
You,
When it's polite.
you can head up that way. Hutton, did you? What are your plans for the day?
Um,
besides helping Miss
Uh,
Eldridge get a dead body?
I am actually going to check on that little girl.
Oh, okay, yeah. So after you get up and you're gonna have some breakfast at the
Yeah.
boarding house first, and then head
Yeah.
downtown. Okay. Um, so let's start with Shaeder. And Shaeder, you go up there. It's a grove. It's a good-sized grove, and inside of
Okay,
it.
well, hold on one sec.
Oh yeah, sure.
Um, what I'm going to visit? There's a general store, right?
Yes, there's a general store directly across the street from the hotel.
Okay. Can I buy something like tobacco or a knife, or basically, I'm buying essentially a token gift. In
Sure.
other words, I'm
Yeah.
visiting. I'm visiting someone's home.
hmm
These are. I don't know much about these people's culture in character, but I know
Right.
that a lot of these folks are into the whole business of giving things and generosity. So it seems like I should show up with something like a gift. So I'm getting something small. In other
Sure.
words, I'm
Yeah.
not going to show up empty-handed. That feels like it would. It feels to me like that would be rude to do that.
Okay. Let's take a look at them real quick. I have some information here. You haven't learned a lot about them yet.
Yeah, I
Society.
don't
Here
know.
we go. Blah
I'm
blah blah
not
blah
sure
blah.
what they would like, but the idea is something like consumables or a tool or something. You know, would be are always people always tend to appreciate things like candy or tobacco.
hmm
Stuff everybody likes.
Yeah, yeah, you can grab some stuff easily, and that's going to be less than your daily amount, obviously, and that's fine. So you head on up that way,
Um,
and there is when you head in, there is a trail that leads up to the village. It leads up right to the edge of the woods, past a small house on a good sized farming field that looks like it's full of like green peppers or something. And then the this little track kind of continues up following the river. You can see it heads up following the Kingfisher River, but there's also a
okay.
trail that goes directly into this grove. And if you follow that trail, um,
That's I think where the man ran yesterday.
yeah, if you follow
Be
that
down that.
trail, right near the center of this grove is a small. It looks like a small native village made of let's see, plank longhouses. Um, So long buildings made of planks, kind of roughly made, but they look very solid and secure. There are a few natives. Most of them are wearing. A few of them are wearing native dress. Others are in like blue jeans, and typical current current times outfits or like
So some of
plaid.
them bought clothing from
Yes, obviously, yeah.
from an American settlement.
Yep, yep.
Others are wearing more traditional
You can
clothes.
smell food cooking. It's still pretty early, and so obviously people are eating breakfast. They look at you with some interest. Uh, your best guess is there's not a lot of. They don't get a lot of visitors in here,
Yeah.
um, but they don't seem
Also,
hostile. They don't. They seem like they don't. They don't seem anything. They're just kind of looking at you
Indifferent.
like, oh.
okay. Um, well, first off, so this is a village, not a camp. These people live here permanently.
It looks like a permanent. Yes, but it's
Okay.
small. There's maybe your guess is maybe 50 of them live there.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can find anyone. I'm going to basically walk around for a moment and see if someone approaches me, or
Yeah.
or if someone does, if no one does, say excuse me, that kind of thing. It's basically find if someone who, I'm sure some people here speak English. Clearly, some of them do business. They buy things like clothing.
Yeah, give me a luck check. Or do you want to specifically approach someone wearing like blue jeans and like denim and that kind of thing?
Well, if no one approaches me, then
They
that's
don't.
the strategy I'll take.
Okay. Um,
So let me call up the
yeah,
dice
do me
here.
a luck check real quick.
Doing it right now.
Population 1,000.
No, I was a
Okay.
failure.
Um, so when you speak to this, what do you want to ask this person or say to this man in denim? He looks like it looks like he is cleaning his boots off. Actually, he's got a rag and he's just kind of cleaning muck off of them. Oh, let's check weather.
Okay.
Let's see what the weather does. As soon as you walk into town, rain starts. Snow? No, 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 no.
Thank goodness.
It's kind of overcast today. It's kind of bleh. You get a blah feeling. You know what I mean? Those days that's just kind of overcast and dreary. Not
Oh, then
bad.
I've got my broad hat. I'll take my oilcloth.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
it rains,
It's not
no,
raining yet, but yeah.
I'm taking my rainwear. In other words, so if it rains on me on the way back,
Okay.
I got my oilcloth coat and my hat.
Yeah. So,
I'll be as dry as you can be hiking through the rain.
so you approach this guy, and what do you want to say to him?
I'll say, "Excuse me, sir.
He kind of gives you a blank. He looks up from his work, kind of gives you a blank look. Doesn't say anything.
I was wondering if there was someone I might speak to."
He's speaking to you in a language you do not understand,
I
unless you have
suspected
Northern
that.
Athabascan.
I do not.
Okay, not gonna worry about it then. Whatever it is. But he does
I'm
speak to you in a
assuming.
language that you do not understand.
I was hoping I might find someone who speaks this language.
hmm He just kind of gives you a look, and he shakes his head and he shrugs. You don't think he
Okay,
understands you.
that's fair. I will try this approach with some other people.
Okay, yeah.
See if I can find someone who
You
understands me.
do eventually find not. It doesn't take too long to find somebody who obviously understands. And the man kind of smirks at you when you walk up to him. That you start to speak to him, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah. What do you need, or what do you want?"
I'm sorry to disturb you. Uh, Last night there were some people moving about the graveyard,
Oh yeah, but the white
and
down to where the white people bury their dead.
yes,
Ah,
and
all right.
I thought,
What were you doing there?
well, I'm keeping an eye out for a friend of mine.
All right.
I thought someone who was there also ran this way, and I was
Huh.
hoping that I might speak with them.
Well, it wasn't Ed over there. He points to the guy who's just finished cleaning off his boots, and he's pulling them on. And as you look his way, he looks at you and looks away, and then he just kind of heads off. He
Okay,
says he speaks English. He just don't like talking to white people.
yeah, I
I guess I should have done
think
that, huh?
this conversation is boring you, then it would have saved you the trouble. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. So you're looking for somebody was in the white man's graveyard over there?
yes, and ran back this way,
Uh huh.
and it wasn't Ed.
Huh?
It
Oh
wasn't
wait,
Ed.
no, that would have been Ed that he pointed out to you. That's Joe. He said Joe
Well, it
because
wasn't.
Ed is
It
like a
wasn't.
well-known native NPC in this town. So I want to keep
Okay,
that name for him. Um,
gotcha.
so this is
Well,
Joe.
I'm certain
Joe.
it wasn't Joe.
It's just Joe, is what he said. No, no, no. Joe likes to sleep as much as he can.
Hmm.
What do you look like?
I didn't get a good look.
Huh? Hanging out at the graveyard, eh? You want to give me a psychology check there, Kevin?
I could do that. Yeah, at least I can roll the
Or
dice and see what
try to do
happens. Damn it.
64?
Oh,
Is
no,
that
just missed.
just
No, I
missed?
have 60. I have 60, and I
60?
rolled
Okay, that would
64.
take all the coins, and Josie's not here to give you hers. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's okay.
He says, no, don't know who that could be.
Fair enough.
You can always try to
Well,
get more information out of this guy with a social skill too, if you want.
yeah. Um, well, if you do happen to learn,
Mm.
and whoever it was wouldn't mind speaking with me, I'd be happy to take the time to come back.
What you got to
Or
speak to him about?
I something strange happened in the graveyard. There were voices, sounds, that sort of thing.
Oh, spirits.
Possibly yes.
Mm.
And I'm concerned. I assume that whoever this was concerned also. And I
Mm.
thought we might put our heads together and see what might have happened.
All right. Yeah, if I think of something, I'll send him your way. And
Thank you.
he goes back to he goes back to his chores. It looks like he was doing some kind of simple chores around the house.
Okay. And what I'll do is I'll offer him the thing that I brought
Okay, yeah.
and be like, if you would please pass this on to whoever that is as a
What
token of
was it? What was it that you did buy?
uh,
What do you think
Probably.
works?
Um, I'll have asked at the general store. What do these people buy tobacco on a
Oh,
regular
damn.
basis?
Actually, yeah, they do. Jeff Kotz, the store owners, and Mr. Jeff Kotz, he could tell you that yes, they do come in. They buy some tobacco.
Okay.
We're not allowed to sell them whiskey. That's against the law.
Okay.
There's a law
So
put down.
accounts.
It's a law here in Saltmarsh, is what he tells you, because they
Yeah,
don't
there's
want.
a lot of places that have laws like that.
Yeah,
I've been to
yeah,
several of them.
yep.
So no, I'll have bought a pouch of tobacco.
Okay,
In other
yeah.
words, it's not a lot. It's just basically a token, like I
hmm
appreciate your time, kind of thing.
This guy takes it, he
And
tucks it into his
the idea
pocket.
being that whoever this is, I'm also this is also a nod to please essentially a thank you to this fellow if he wants to
hmm
take some of his time.
Sure. Yeah, he takes it. He says he'll if he finds a guy, and if he doesn't, he'll bring it back to you.
And I'll tell him, no, that's fine. I brought this to distribute.
Oh,
And
thanks.
I'll tell him, I'll introduce myself and I'll tell him where I can be found, where a message can be left if someone wants to reach me. In other words, I'll provide what counts as contact information, so
hmm
he knows how to reach me.
Oh, I need to look up Quaalude names. Because I haven't named everybody. Here we go. Wait, Twilight. Oh, fuck you. Twilight uses La Push as their location, and so a lot of Quaalude stuff on searches are um, will take you there, unfortunately.
Like Twilight,
So,
like the
like the
Vampire,
vampire,
50
yes.
Shades of Grey fanfic
Yep, yep,
thing.
yep, yep, yep. So,
Somebody once handed me one of those books years ago. I opened it randomly, read one page, and started reaching for my red pen.
I bet.
Then I stopped when I realized I was looking for a red pen and I was in a movie theater in the lobby, not seeing Twilight.
Yeah, he tells his name is Dan Mesley.
Okay, well, I'll shake his hand, say nice to meet you,
Hmm.
let him know where I can be found,
Okay.
and then I'll let him get back to whatever he was doing.
He seems to note it. He's not blowing you off. It doesn't feel like.
That's fine.
Yeah. He's doing. It looks like he is repairing the door to this house.
Okay. So
Putting
yeah,
some
I'll leave
leather
him.
straps in.
I'll take
Okay.
up no more of his time than is necessary
Okay.
to accomplish what I came for. In other words, being polite.
Mm-hmm.
These people have no reason to like or trust me, so I'm being as polite as possible.
Okay. Yeah. Um, did you want to
You
ask
know,
other people, or did you want to head back into town after
no,
that?
I don't want to appear like a busybody asking a
Okay.
lot of people.
Yeah. So
This
you've
guy
talked to a
might
couple
really,
people,
yeah.
and you're gonna head back to town.
Several people know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm not going to push the
There
issue.
were others
They might
around.
communicate with, yeah, they heard too, I'm sure.
Yes, there were a few people
So
that
if they,
probably could have overheard your conversation. So
yeah,
you're
so if they
spreading the
want to
word.
communicate with me, they will. And if they don't, I can't force them to, and have no intention.
There are some dogs in the village. You notice that too. Yeah, it's not really a village. I guess you could
Settlement.
a settlement. I guess you could call it a village.
If it's got permanent structures, it'll count as a
Yeah,
village.
yeah, it does. There are some dogs laying around in here too. Um, usually by some of the houses.
Okay,
Hutton.
is that unusual? Are there no dogs in Saltmarsh?
No, there's dogs in Saltmarsh. You've seen a few. You've seen one little terrier chases the freaking stagecoach every time it comes through. Um,
Mhm.
and this little kid chases down the terrier. There are various dogs around town. Dogs, cats, that kind of thing is what you've seen. It seems pretty normal in this area too. You don't see any cats in the native village, but you do see a few
They
dogs.
keep dogs.
Yeah, just kind of hanging out and laying in the sun. Well, there's not much sun.
Yeah.
Hutton, you said you were going to.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink.
Okay,
Yep. I want to
you
check
go
on
downtown.
the.
You have a nice breakfast.
Yep.
The widow Danforth really does put together. She has a good spread in the morning, and
Okay.
it's delicious. And then you head
Okay,
downtown.
so don't kill her.
Either she or somebody who works for her cooks pretty well. So you head downtown and you see that every time you walk past the blacksmith shop, especially in the summer, there's two big main doors and they've been open.
Mhm.
They are closed currently, and it is very quiet in there. Hmm.
I will knock on the door.
Make me an intelligence check. Let's see if you have learned anything about the blacksmith, particularly since you've been to Saltmarsh. He hates it when people knock on his door.
Regular success.
Regular success. You knock on the door and there's no answer. You do remember that there are a set of steps around back that go up to like where he lives with his family.
Okay. Then I'll go around to the back and then
Yeah.
knock.
You can go up the steps to the door there. You knock. Hello, Josie. Welcome.
Hello. Sorry.
Once your face is up, that's okay. We went ahead and got started, but I'll get you in just a moment. Nothing's really happened specifically yet. Knock, knock, knock. There's a click of the latch. The door opens. There's a little kid standing there. A little boy. He is probably about 8 years old. Best guess. Let's see. Let me see if I can find. Do I have a picture of this kid? I thought I did a picture of him. There he is. Oh, there he is. All right, let me get it. I'm going to put that in NPCs. Well, shit, I just lost the file. No, I don't want Dell. Oh my god, everything's going wrong. Okay. There he is. All right.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, there he is. He opens the door and just kind of stares at you. Doesn't greet you. Doesn't say anything. Just looks at you. Looks up at you. Obviously, he's friggin' 8 years old. He's a little tiny guy.
Look, good morning.
Who are you?
Mr. Hutton.
Dad's closed. Our pa's closed today.
Is he currently home?
No. You give me a listen check, Sean. He ain't home. He had to go up to the infirmary.
Listen check.
Yes, please.
Regular success. Damn, I missed it by one.
That's okay. You got a regular success though. So
Yeah.
you can hear it sounds like a woman is crying somewhere inside this apartment above the blacksmith shop. Back in there somewhere, not anywhere near the door that you're at. So the kid says, he had to go up to the infirmary.
Very well. I will check back later.
What's wrong with you? Did you get hit in the head?
I have a stutter.
A what? What's that? Is that some kind of wagon?
I have an issue when I talk.
Yeah, you don't talk too good. He just shakes his head.
Good day.
Do you turn and leave at that point, or are you going to wait for him to close the door?
I nod and I leave.
Okay. You hear the door close behind you as you head back down the creaking stairs, outside stairs. Yeah. Okay.
That basically confirms my suspicions.
Okay. Let's jump to Isabella Eldridge. I want to give you a quickie reminder. So the last game session. Oh, everybody look at your traits and your ideologies, beliefs. Don't forget to double check and say, here's my guy or my lady. Last game session towards the end, you went to the graveyard and you summoned up a very rude ghoul who told you to come back the next night and bring some rotten meat, preferably a human person, maybe a baby. And then you saw someone running away from the graveyard, and you and Lieutenant Shaeder gave chase, but then you ran out of breath about halfway to the woods where the Quaalude live, and lost whoever that was who was lurking near the graveyard for whatever reason. Later that night, or early in the morning probably, you had a dream about a bunch of mosquitoes coming into a little girl's room and landing, completely covering her and just going to town on her. And then as they left, you recognize that little girl as Bridget Strong, who you had met a couple days before. So that's the recap of the things that happened yesterday, basically, or last night. Before that, you guys have had some discussions on how do we handle this, how do we deal with the Wizard Wilkes, blah, 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 blah. So when Miss Eldridge wakes up that morning, is there anything particular she wants to do that day? If you want to think about it, I can also skip to Aaron first because we haven't touched on him yet. So, and don't forget your list. You still have a
It's
list.
Saturday?
No, it is. Yes, it is Saturday, August 11th.
Okay.
And usually
I'll
it's a
think about it.
it's
Come
a
back to
6-day work week. Okay, I'll come back to you. Remember, it's a 6-day work week, so probably you're teaching Monday through Saturday with Sunday off.
Okay.
Fernando Jimenez, you come down to town riding your horse, enjoying it very much. Give me another luck check.
Heading into town to get my daily shave.
Yep.
65 is a fail.
A fail. Okay. You go down into town. You get your shave. Get the mustache perfect. Talk to Henderson Gray, the mayor and local dentist / barber, and then you just kind of laze about town again.
Yep.
While you go and talk to the two old men on the porch of the.
Oh, I don't talk to them. I just might play my guitar down
there. Okay. You go down there. You hang out.
Plenty.
There's still a lot of mosquitoes. A lot of big, heavy mosquitoes. You didn't have the. No, Shaeder, you remember. You seeing the mosquitoes, you're like, oh shit. I had a fucked up dream last night. And then you see Hutton come around the side of the blacksmith shop, heading down the street in your direction, probably towards the Gazette building. And you hear somebody inside the saloon said, "Damn it, Ed, you got to quit hanging out there. You're going to get in trouble. Somebody's looking for you." And you hear another voice that you recognize as Ed's voice. Say, "Well, I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to get the... Oscar said it's good to have a spooky ambiance." And the first guy says, "I don't know what ambiance is, but you got to quit hanging out. Then white people are going to string you up." All right. And that's the gist of the conversation before whoever they are splits up. You recognize Ed's name. You know him. You don't know who the other person is. You don't recognize his voice.
Okay.
And you see Hutton.
Did it sound like another native?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Okay.
You think it was another native.
All right.
And Hutton's walking down the street.
Yeah, I am just, sitting on the porch.
Okay, Hutton, you see Jimenez on the porch as you mosey on by the saloon and hotel.
Okay. Is he mostly alone? Is
those two old guys? Make me luck check. See if two old guys are there yet, or if they're inside eating.
They must be inside eating.
They must be. Nobody else is on the porch this morning.
All right, I'm gonna pop up onto the porch real quick.
Okay. Go ahead. What do you want?
Good morning, Mr. Jimenez.
Good morning, Mr. Hutton.
Do you know the young girl we mentioned peeking at the upstairs of the paper?
Yes, I remember something of that. Yes.
I believe she has succumbed to the mosquitoes.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a dream that she might have been, but it was just a dream, right? It could have been real.
I also had that dream.
Oh, it's not very good when several of us have the same dream, is it?
It doesn't look that way. I'm heading back to the paper now, but my suspicions are confirmed. The father is not open today, and it sounds like the mother is crying.
Well, it might not be the little girl. Does she have more children?
The,
Is the are there siblings?
there is a son that I saw, but the father went uh to the woods.
Well, to wait to the swamp or to the
Is it
infirmary in town?
There's
to
no.
the wait?
There's a doctor's office in town. The infirmary is the one that the priest runs up in the swamp.
Oh,
Oh, the
okay,
swamp.
okay.
Sorry,
They have
I
two
would've
different
said-
names, and everybody distinguishes them pretty clearly.
I
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
said the swamp. Then I was thinking it was in
Well,
the woods.
if
Well,
you said
so-
infirmary, then he would have known what you were talking
Okay.
about.
Right. So it's the infirmary, and then what's the other one? Like the clinic or?
No, it's just doctor's office. Doctor
Okay.
Dr. Harris's.
Okay.
No, that's not his
Okay.
name.
Old Doc Harris.
No. It's I have lists of people here. I can never find what I'm looking for. Dr. Isaac Davis is the doctor in town.
Okay. Oh. Well, she is young. Maybe she can pull through.
That would be my hope. It it seems that we have all been beginning to share dreams more often.
Maybe that is a side effect from where we've been.
I hope that is it.
Okay. Menace, you going to go in and have some breakfast then? And Hutton, go ahead.
I figured I had breakfast up at the mansion.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Isabella Eldridge. What about you? Anything you want to do today?
Well, when do I teach? I mean, is it just kind of normal school hours?
Kind
or-
of, but it's whatever's convenient for the game, basically. You probably teach some in the day, probably not at night, and it's not like you're stuck in a classroom all day. So
We can have field trips.
no, you just don't have to teach all day. You know what I mean? It's just not like you're like sitting there for 6 hours working the entire time. It's
Yeah,
pretty
I got
loose.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing really during the day.
Okay.
So much.
You don't have to.
Although I was considering, actually finding the doctor's office or infirmary or something. And
Which one?
I don't know when exactly, but seeing perhaps if, there is a little extra severed leg or something I could pick up.
Oh, that
On
should
the
be an
way to the
interesting
graveyard.
conversation. So you want to go to the doctor's office here in town? You know, there's a doctor here in town. You know that there's an infirmary up in the swamp a couple miles from town that's run by this priest, Father Lyman.
Have I been to either one of them?
No, you've only been in town for a week or so.
Okay. So I don't really know what they're like.
No.
There-
No, you've
the
met a few
infirmary
people
probably
around.
would-
You've met a few people around town, but you haven't been up to the infirmary. You haven't been. You do know people who, according to the newspaper, people who've been dying from the mosquito sickness have been buried almost immediately up there.
Mhm.
So
So that is where I'm thinking
yeah, you can head up there.
that it'd be easier to find a body part if I'm still doing that.
Yeah,
which I
if it's up to
think is
you.
the plan.
So you want to head up to the infirmary then?
During the day or at night? I'm not sure.
I don't know, whichever you
better?
want. Swamp's probably a little hazardous at night.
That's true. I need an excuse to go there, though. Like a reason to be there.
I mean,
You're drawing.
I don't. Do you want to? Are you going up there to ask them for body parts, or are you going up there
No,
because you want to
I mean,
dig up?
no.
Oh, you definitely should go at night if you want to dig up a grave. You don't know anything about the area. You don't know how far the graveyard up there is from the infirmary. You've not been up there, so you have no idea about that area. at this juncture. You could
But,
also go and get some of your
Hutton
friends
and-
too if you want some
Hutton and
company.
Fernando perhaps have been there, and
You have
maybe,
no idea. I don't know if Hutton
I
has
feel
told
like
you.
they could have. So,
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd like to meet up with them. I think at some point
So you're gonna go looking for them.
before I try and do that.
So you're gonna go looking for them like around noon.
Sure.
Does that work?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
for lunch if I can find someone.
All right, give me a luck
Do I know?
check. Let's see if you can find them. Hutton, do you go to the saloon for lunch usually? Okay. So you don't have to make the roll, Josie, but yeah, you know that Hutton usually has lunch at the saloon.
Okay.
The other two of you could be
Okay.
there if you want.
Probably
Depends
have
on
lunch
when I
at the
get back
saloon
from
as
my
well.
errand.
Your errand, you were done pretty early.
Okay.
You were probably
So I won't be
back
there for lunch.
by the time Jimenez overheard the conversation in the while he was sitting on the porch. So
Okay.
yeah, you can all meet for lunch if you want.
Okay.
Cool. Sounds good.
You're there. You're eating. It's delicious. Well, it's cheap fried
It's
food.
adequate.
It's adequate, yes.
It's food.
It's food.
It will keep you alive.
All right. So I guess have we already caught up and whatnot? I guess now is the time for catching up, huh?
Yeah, if you guys want to
Yeah.
info dump everything you've heard or
Yep.
anything like that, you can. That's up to you.
I'm good with that.
Everything you feel is of importance.
Was I aware that Shaeder and Isabella saw that
No.
figure? In
Nobody has talked to you about what happened last night at the graveyard. No. Yeah, you were there. Hutton's the one who doesn't know anything about the figure at the graveyard.
I was there, but I never went into the graveyard. I stayed on the
No,
outskirts.
but they chased
Okay.
this guy, and then
Okay.
they came back. And remember, you helped find the footprints around that grave where you
Oh,
guys
that's
thought
right.
he
That's
was.
right. Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
you know that happened.
I wanted to make sure. All right. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so no.
And Alonzo and I saw the ghoul, and Fernando didn't. Is
No.
that right?
Alonzo did not see the ghoul. Alonzo and
Oh,
Fernando lingered at the entrance. You're the only one who dealt with the ghoul. They saw like
Okay.
a figure. They saw a shadow. They weren't close enough to
Right.
make out any details. But you told them what happened about the ghoul, sort of. You know, this guy was rude. What a dick. Whatever. So yeah, they know that
Like
you
that.
talked to a ghoul. They know you're supposed to come back tomorrow night, I believe, and they probably know that you're supposed to bring a rotten body. Yay!
Okay.
That
cool.
Jimenez has
So
to
we're all
carry.
caught up.
Yeah.
We were also considering going back to that little village, the Cthulhu village, today.
Which I
Weren't
already
we?
did.
Oh, you already did.
Yes.
Oh, okay. How did that go?
I spoke to them. Maybe they're willing to talk, but that's on them at this point.
You should you should look for Ed. I overheard a conversation here just a moment ago. I look around. Is Ed in the bar?
Ed is in a corner table, watching your table. That's weird. And when he sees you look at him, he quickly looks away. He's like this.
I look right at him.
He
and then
immediately-
I point at him.
he
I point
immediately
at him,
looks
and I
away.
look right over there.
He doesn't see you point because he looked away immediately, and he looks really nervous.
So
He's got a book in front of him. Oh, he is a Native American. He's
He
wearing.
wants to be a screenwriter.
He's wearing no, not a
Right.
screenwriter, just a writer. He's wearing denim
Okay, a
and
writer.
blue jeans. It's hard to tell what his footwear is from where you're sitting, but it doesn't look like big boots like a lot of the people around here wear. He's got long dark hair. There's a picture of him in NPCs, but you got to scroll up. I can stick another one in for you. Maybe if I can fucking find it. Why is journals even up? Good looking young guy, maybe 20, 22 years old, something like that. What the fuck? No.
Fernando
I got it.
is,
I
got
put it
it
in the
right
wrong
here.
place.
is he your friend?
He is the most.
There he is.
How do I want to say this? He is the most. No, I don't think you'd say normal.
He's pretty.
He seems like he wants to be more like us than more like his own kind.
Okay.
You're
That's
calling that
probably all-
normal?
Say that's probably also like pretty racist thing to say, but it's adequate for this time period. So
Time.
yeah. Um,
Okay. So he's not your friend, or he is?
he is friendly. I do not know him as a friend. I have not had much encounters with him.
He's closing up the little notebook. Jimenez, you don't see this because he's kind of behind you. Because remember, you
Right,
looked
okay.
around and you saw him. But the
Right.
others at the table see it. He closes the book up, looks nervously at your table again, grabs up the book. It looks like it's a notebook of some kind, or a chapbook or something like that. It's not a book that you read. And
So
he's
it's
heading for the
laptop.
entrance to the saloon.
Okay.
So everybody sees that.
But I don't know
So-
this person, so I wouldn't.
You've seen him around at the saloon
You
before.
didn't point him out though, so I
I
didn't.
did.
I don't think I made the
Yeah.
connection.
So
I
he's
pointed him out.
Fernando pointed
Oh,
right
you
at
did?
him. Yeah.
Yeah, I
he's,
point,
he's
Oh.
local. Then?
directly pointed right at him.
Yeah, just really
Oh,
big.
sorry, I missed that.
yeah.
I thought we
what-
were just talking about him.
What was this
We
conversation?
were, but I pointed
what was,
him
what
out
was his
literally.
relevance here?
Okay.
Did I miss something? What was his relevance here?
He's
He's from
may
that
be
village. Or
he may be the one you want to talk to about. He may be the person, or may know who you saw last night.
yeah.
I said,
Well,
Oh, there we go.
Fernando, you should.
He's the most friendly of everyone that lives in.
well, then I
the
suppose
bush.
we should grab him a moment before he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's heading for the door
I
at a
will
good pace.
follow-
You're the one who
I'll
knows
follow
him.
him to the door.
Okay, clunk, clunk, clunk. He pushes his way through the batwing doors. Boom, 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 boom.
I'll do likewise.
And he's heading down the street.
I'll say,
He
Ed,
looks over his shoulder
Ed,
nervously.
Ed,
He's very
hold on a
startled when he sees you there, but he does stop moving. He's just holding his book like it's a shield in front of him right now. Looks like it's
I'll
leather
walk
bound.
sorry to startle you. Can I have a moment of your time?
Sure. Yeah.
So, I was up to the village earlier today.
Oh.
Spoke to a guy named Dan. Was it Mensa?
Yeah. Metzley.
Metzley. Spoke to a fellow named Dan Metzley.
Oh. Yeah.
There was someone in the graveyard last night who ran in the direction of the village.
Oh.
I was wondering who that was and what they were doing there.
Well, we don't like to trespass, so we don't go onto people's property because some people think that we're thieves. You see, so we don't like to trespass.
Somebody was in the graveyard and then returned to the Quaalude village.
Oh, is he going to get arrested? He's kind of
I
backing
think so.
very slowly away. Like when he speaks, he takes like half step back. You know what I mean?
I'll maintain the distance by taking half a step forward.
Okay.
I'm not going to crowd him, but I am going to maintain
Right.
the conversation.
Yeah, it's like every time he speaks, he takes a bit of a step back, like a nervous step. And so you can keep up with him easily. He's not going anywhere.
I don't think anything illegal happened, and I'm not the law in any case.
Well, something happened.
Well, that's the point. Something happened, and I was hoping to speak to whoever was there and see what they and ask what they saw.
He's looking through the window of the saloon. And your guess is he's looking in the direction of your table again.
That someone
Says,
wasn't you, was it?
Well, I guess it could have been. Oscar is always writing me that I should try different locations for ideas for my stories, and so I might have been out there last night, and that lady was out there, right? She was there with you?
Yeah.
I didn't see you. I saw this lady, and she was talking to some kind of evil spirit. I don't expect you to believe me, because, different beliefs and different essential religions that we're brought up with are different for our different people. And so, but that's what it looked like to me, and it didn't look like a good spirit. That is that lady. That lady. He's kind of like nodding towards the window again.
So is that why you ran away?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
Didn't you smell
so
it?
did I actually spell it?
No,
I
you
think I
guys were
did.
further away from it than Ed was,
Okay.
because you guys were
No,
all
I
the way
think
at the end of the graveyard, and he was towards the middle, but outside the graveyard.
I think we were upwind from it, and you were downwind.
Oh, you were lucky. It was awful. Smelled like a bunch of dead bodies.
Well,
So
I suppose I am lucky I didn't smell it.
so so am I? You're not. So, but I didn't break any laws
Not to my knowledge.
because I didn't
And
go
as
in
I
the
said,
graveyard.
Listen, I'm not the law in any case.
Well, he kind of gives you a doubtful look, kind of gestures towards your uniform and your gun.
That's I'm not the law. I'm with the army, and the only reason I'm here is through the customs. So unless you're importing things outside the country, none of my concern.
No, no. Letters don't count.
No.
Okay, no, just letters.
Did
Those
you
go
mail letters
outside.
to people? You
Uh-huh.
mailed to people
I'm sorry.
outside the country.
Well, yeah, there's Oscar. He's in England.
Oh, okay,
And Jules, he's in France.
that's fine.
Um,
You sent them by post.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I have to buy a stamp.
Nothing wrong with that then.
Oh, all right, all right.
Saves everybody.
They like my writing, and they give me some advice on it sometimes.
Cool. Well, that's great. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. What is? But that lady, what? How, he gives you like a questioning look, like he's
I don't
curious
know.
to know what the hell was happening in the graveyard last night.
Evil spirits about as good an answer as I've got, to be honest.
Well, what's she doing that for? That's bad.
Well,
He looks around. He doesn't want anybody to hear this, obviously.
I mean, you know how these mosquitoes have been coming.
Well, they've been
People
bad.
are sick and dying.
Yeah, it's been bad.
Well, some people think that the mosquitoes are being brought by evil spirits. So maybe we
Oh,
need a spirit to battle a spirit.
maybe. Kevin, give me an intelligence check real quick. See if you recall something you noticed last night. Or you may have totally overlooked it. It wasn't. It's not obvious.
That's a hard success.
Hard to say. You were standing just inside the gates, the entrance to the graveyard. So you had a
Yeah,
clear running to Miss Eldridge if you needed it.
yeah.
And you don't remember any mosquitoes bothering you last night when you were there. Usually they're everywhere. Right now you're doing this occasionally because they're
Yeah.
all over the place. And there were none, apparently, last night where you were standing, just inside the graveyard. That's weird.
In fact, I'll say, so did you notice there weren't any mosquitoes last night?
No, I didn't. I didn't even think about that.
Well, I don't know, but maybe that, whatever that spirit was, it scared off the other one.
Oh,
I mean, how do you fight an evil spirit but with another one?
another evil spirit. That's good. I like that. That could. He opens up the notebook and he pulls out a little stub of a pencil and he quick jots something down and he closes it back up again.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. You could make use of that.
I might. Yeah, thank you, Mister. I don't know your name. You know me. I'm
Oh,
Ed. But
Shaeder, Alonzo Shaeder.
Mr.
It's nice to meet you.
Mr.
I'll
Captain
extend the hand.
Shader, he shakes your hand.
Lieutenant.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't. He points towards shoulder bar, your shoulder
Yeah,
epaulets. Not they're not really epaulets. The insignias on your shoulder, and he's like, I
yeah.
don't really know anything about the army. All right,
Don't worry
all
about it.
right.
Well, thanks, Ed. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
If you
good
need
luck with
anything, Lieutenant Shader, just let me know. I'll help out if I'm not working for Mister Jeffrey, because I do a lot
uh,
of jobs for him around town.
I appreciate that. Good
Okay.
luck with the writing.
Oh, yeah.
If you
Thanks.
turn that into a proper story, I'd be eager to read it.
Oh, oh, thanks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks. He seems pretty excited about that. And then he turns and heads away, the same direction that he was
Okay.
going initially.
I'll go back inside.
Okay.
And
I like Ed so much.
I'll tell them,
That's a
what I
nice
just
guy.
learned.
Okay.
He is a nice guy.
Yeah, he does.
Um,
He seems like
Dang, I was
a
hoping
nice
you'd bring
guy.
him back in to talk
um,
to
Like
us.
aspiring to be a writer. I like the guy.
everybody can make me an intelligence check. No, education check.
And by the way, I'll mention the thing
Oh,
about the mosquitoes last night.
Okay.
while I'm
Mentioned
bringing the
what?
whole
That
story
he
up.
was.
There weren't any. Didn't seem to be any mosquitoes in the graveyard. And once Shaeder mentions that, you're like, oh yeah, because you don't
And I
remember
have a
getting bit
I
once
have a
out
regular
there.
success on education.
Regular success.
Extreme success on
Extreme.
education.
You're gonna get all of them. How did you do, Josie?
Oh, that's good.
Regular.
23. I'm not sure what kind of success that is, but it's good.
Okay. Yeah, it's a success. Figure that out.
Education?
I'm gonna jump to Loren
Yeah.
real quick. Hutton, you're there. Oh, Hutton gets a bonus die. You're
Hard
muted.
success. Oh,
Hard success,
I get a
and give
bonus
yourself
die.
a bonus die. How'd you do, Isabella? What's your success? Hard,
Hard success.
hard,
still hard.
Regular.
extreme, and regular. Okay,
So
regular
hard.
success. You remember the names he dropped were Oscar from Britain and Jules from France. The extreme successes, the hard success, you do know there is a writer called Jules Verne. Hutton?
Yeah, I was thinking like
I think Loren already knows this information.
He might. I don't remember.
is
It's
he
been a while.
talking to Jules Verne and Oscar Wilde?
And
Yeah.
Fernando and Isabella both made extremes. And Fernando, you have heard of a writer in England
So I had a hard
named
success.
Oscar Wilde, who's just starting out at this juncture in his life. But he's already he's already got some momentum, you think. Same with Miss Eldridge. So those names, at least, they fit with the right
Wow.
countries. Might not be
I
the
knew
same
that,
people.
I knew that as a player already.
Okay.
I knew that, so yeah.
All right. Well, then you
Okay.
didn't need to make the roll. But anyway, those are the names he dropped.
Got some potentially
Okay.
interesting.
Wow. He must be a good writer then.
That's kind of why I was pushing for other people to interact with him, because I already had that.
Okay. So yeah, all right. So you talked to Ed. Ed was the guy last night at the graveyard. Ran away because this lady summoned up something awful that smelled like a bunch of dead bodies. Yay!
So he's probably afraid of me, to be fair.
Wouldn't be
little bit.
surprised if he was.
Wouldn't
I
Um,
want to make
Yeah. Okay.
you?
So, what do you guys want to do today? It's Saturday, August 11th.
Oh, I want to ask them about the infirmary. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably relaxing a lot today because I'm probably going to be working hard tonight. Because it's Saturday before Sunday.
Yeah.
It's
There's
party-
definitely going to
party
be.
night.
Yeah, there's going to be people in here drinking tonight. Hutton has been. Hutton, you've been to the infirmary.
Yep.
And you walked up there. You can explain to her that there's a trail that goes up there.
Yeah.
You can either go up, you can follow the river all the way up to the falls because there's a waterfall there, or you can follow another trail that's a more direct route that takes you past the old Prospector's graveyard, is what they call it. Hutton, you saw 4 new graves there, or 4 new stones or markers. They're probably not stones, they're probably wooden markers. And then there's probably a couple dozen old markers that are rotted. You can barely read the names, if you can read the names at all. You didn't actually go in and take a peek at it or anything like that. And then this is right near a cliff. A short distance away, maybe 200 yards, up a hill. There's a trail that goes up the cliff to the infirmary. The infirmary is kind of a C-shaped building,
Okay.
with a short wall, like a 3-foot wall around a courtyard, and on the south that looked like like a big storage room, and on the north there were 3 doors and 3 windows. You're not sure what was there. You were shown into the main building where there was like a main area where something was cooking, probably is where they do all the cooking and stuff. A small little office or examination room, it looked like, with all these herbs everywhere, and then like a recovery room with like 5 beds, a big window, a lot of mosquito netting over everybody, and there were 3 people there when you were there. They were all slathered up with some kind of salve, and they appeared to be recovering. And this was a couple days ago.
Okay.
2 or 3 days ago. I can't remember exactly when you went up there, and you talked to 2. You saw there were 3 people there. There was a Mexican-looking woman, reminds you of Hernandez or Jimenez.
Yeah.
Small, looked very young. There was this blonde-haired guy named Dunchett, like Samuel Dunchett, you think?
Okay.
And then there was the big guy who was cutting wood like effortlessly. He was not cutting. Yeah, he was cutting wood effortlessly. Big, huge guy. I think their pictures are actually. Did I put their pictures? Yeah, I did. The woman you did not get a good look at, so I didn't stick a picture in yet. If you, Mr. Dunchett and Mr. Horwell. Dunchett was a little guy, maybe like 5.5 foot tall, skinny, wearing just kind of a ratty suit. And then Horwell was a huge, wearing a denim jacket over plaid, blue jeans, boots, and doing some of the heavy stuff, it looked like.
Okay.
The young woman left. You saw her, and she, it looked like she was leaving as you were approaching. So you haven't met her yet. You're not sure who that is exactly. But you went up and interviewed them, and that was part of your story about the farm. Well, it probably wasn't part of that story, but you do have information if you want to put together a story about the infirmary.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can give any or all that to her, whatever you want to tell her.
Yeah, I would.
And the river's just past the infirmary. You did see another building, maybe 30 or 40 feet away from the infirmary. There were some little, obviously outhouses just off, not too far. And then a little ways away there was a small building, and then the river was past that, and you could hear the waterfall past that.
Okay. Yeah, if they ask, I will like info dump.
Yeah,
about what I've.
Miss Eldridge just asked you about the infirmary. She said, "Does anybody know about the infirmary?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. I went up there and did all this jazz."
I'm also going to info dump that I'm under the belief that the blacksmith has taken his daughter. I forget her name. Me, the player.
Bridget. Yeah,
Bridget.
It was yesterday. Yeah, you remember her name, Bridget.
To the infirmary.
Wait, how exactly do you know that again? From the newspaper, or?
She wasn't here when that happened, Sean.
Yeah.
So
I had a dream last night that she was attacked by the mosquitoes, and I went. I went to check on her, because my dreams have been real lately, and the father had gone to the infirmary, and the mother was crying.
Oh,
So
I see.
I'm just putting two together.
I see. Yes. Yeah, it is strange you mentioned that because I actually had the same dream, which I think is the second time that's happened in
a
this
few
week,
days.
at least.
Yeah.
So
Yes, and
that's spooky.
I too had the same dream. I think it's a side effect from places we have been.
Dreamy places, yes. Indeed.
Dreamy places.
But it worries.
Fernando and Isabella.
It worries
Sean,
me that
you damn lisp. Damn you, Sean. Go ahead.
It worries me because
It's so extreme.
saw she saw the wizard, and now she is succumbed. I worry that maybe this is a part of his powers.
You think it was Wilkes?
Saturday.
I'm not removing it from possibility.
Is there anyone else that it even could be? I mean, do we know any other magic users around here?
If it's magic, it's him as far as I know.
Right. Okay. That makes
Put all the
sense.
ties together.
It just it's too convenient that she sees him and then she gets sick.
Yes. Well, what do you think about going there perhaps with me to confirm that? That would certainly be newsworthy if it's true.
I can do that. Uh, Andy, by
Hmm.
chance, do we know the age of the youngest person to contract it?
Uh, no, no, you don't. You don't know the age of the youngest person.
Okay.
There hasn't been
Did you heard?
regular anything in the paper. There's been obituaries for the people who have
Okay.
died from it, and each one of those,
Has
has an age on it. But there have been no
has
stories about it. Have
anybody?
said the ages also
Okay.
of the people, but people who just get it and then they go and they get treated and they come back and they're fine. Nothing's really been written a lot about those people because they get sick, but then
Okay.
they're fine. It's not really
Yeah.
news.
No one this young has died from it.
You don't think so? No, you think it's been all adults up to this point.
Okay.
From what you can remember, there's been two women and two men who've gotten it, um, and who have died from it,
Yeah.
and they were all in their like 20s or
Okay.
30s, if you remember correctly. You've been probably partially writing some of these stories, so
Yeah.
all that stuff that you would have.
Okay.
Uh, okay. So, shall we go there today then? Uh,
The, the,
I don't
the,
know if you
there,
have time.
there is the other issue of we need to get the paper from the widow, and I'm not sure how to go about it.
What
Legal?
now? Okay.
Uh,
I feel like I almost want to say I'm probably out of character. For some reason, I feel like I'm missing something here about what we actually need. Were we just gonna destroy it or
Well, ask in character then if you don't know.
the paper?
Ask that in character.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Okay.
been very
Um.
confusing about what actually everybody wants to do with this thing. Some people have been like, "We need to destroy it," and then and then Sean is like, "I'm copying it down." So yeah, if you're confused, yeah, you should
Okay.
definitely
but
verbalize that and be like, "The fuck are we
here's the part.
doing?" Whatever you want to
Yeah.
say,
I am.
because it's been going
I
all over
do.
the
I do
place.
say. Well, now, do we really need to get that paper? I mean, what is our plan anyway? I I feel like it's still not solidified. It's still up in the air.
It,
Are we going to destroy it or
my
what?
my my original hope was to, to destroy the option of him returning, but now that he is haunting, I feel we need to go more drastic.
How how do you kill a wizard anyway? I mean, I was hoping that the
Bullets.
ghouls could help me. Perhaps tonight. That's the other reason why I wanted to go to the infirmary. It's a bit dark, but I guess all of this kind of is. uh, Perhaps the infirmary has you know, a leg or a foot or a I don't know how much. Oh, it's awful
You didn't see any
even to
legs or
think about. But
feet around there anywhere, Sean, when you were
No,
up there, like chopped off,
do they
laying on a
have a?
shelf.
I was going to ask you. Do they have like a makeshift morgue kind of thing, or
Not to your knowledge.
I
it's just the
did
infirmary and the graveyard outside?
I did not see any um, deceased people.
Ah, well, perhaps this could be a scouting mission for me at least to see if that's an option. And also a news mission for you.
I I just say I need I I, I need a better idea than stealing the paper from the widow.
Okay,
Well,
we
she
could
is
talk about it on the
she
way.
she is a very religious person, is she not? Perhaps if you were upfront and honest with her, she herself would destroy it.
I
And you
don't
wouldn't
think
have to
so.
worry.
I don't think that would work. I I don't think destroying it solves the problem.
Okay.
So what
So we
do
don't really need
you
the paper then,
suggest
do we?
then?
I I I I think we have to bring him back
And then gun him down.
and dispose.
Uh, okay, I guess. But I feel like we should definitely have a plan for how to do that, rather than just winging it.
I I I uh, I agree.
Okay. So that's
So,
it. We don't know.
Wait.
do you?
Wait. I'm going to start looking around. We're in the saloon, right?
You're in
Right
this
now.
room. There's a few other people in there eating, but not too
All right.
many this time of day. Most people are at work.
Maybe we should discuss the finer details at a different time, at a different place.
Sure. Uh. Well.
If you want, you can come up to the coast to the to Mr. Hazard's house. I'm sure Mr. Hazard would not mind, and we could discuss things there.
What about the infirmary, though?
I'm just saying
Are
we can
we
discuss.
not doing that?
We can discuss everything at Mr. Hazard's. The
Oh.
mosquitoes are not as bad up there, mind you.
Okay.
You guys aren't limited to doing
Sure.
one thing either.
Correct.
Right.
I mean, keep that in mind. It's only noon.
So,
So
And do I have
so
to come
are-
back
are-
to teach, or it's flexible? You said.
It's flexible.
I don't
If
have to.
you don't have class this afternoon, if you don't want to, if you want to use it as an
Okay.
excuse to not be able to do things, you can. It's, whatever fits the story
Okay.
is fine.
Gotcha.
so
Okay. So yeah.
at least Jimenez is suggesting being honest with the widow.
yes.
Okay. Do you think?
On the other side of that, if she doesn't destroy it, maybe her desire for him will yeah, maybe she'll want to see him returned as well.
That is my concern, but also I fear she will think I have been uh, tipping the bottle too much.
Hmm.
Oh yes, I guess you are living at her estate, are you? So-
Yes, and coming with the idea of bringing a dead man out of a dream sounds like someone who has drunk too much.
Nah, maybe.
Well, do you want to be
We
honest
don't
with her?
we don't know what she believes or what she doesn't believe.
I want to get the spell.
Okay.
I would prefer to not harm anyone.
Except Wilkes, but not the widow. I assume. Okay. So, well, what are we doing? What's the plan?
There's a good question.
It's literally me asking for a better idea than stealing it or telling her the fucking truth.
Okay. Nobody's giving you one, so
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know. I don't know.
one thing to keep in mind, Josie is on a time limit to find a corpse to take to this
Yeah.
ghoul by midnight tonight. So just
Mhm.
Well-
so that's kind of a hard time
Maybe
limit. Unless
we
she's
can
going to
knock
show
out
up with
two.
nothing, which that'll
Kill
be
the
interesting.
widow.
He doesn't
My vote
want
is
a
to go to
fresh
the
body.
infirmary.
He wants somebody's been
That's
dead
what I
for a
wanna
few
do.
weeks.
I mean, I've seen her. She looks pretty
No,
dead already.
she has not. She's not dead. He wants a rotten body that he can immediately
I
eat.
know.
He doesn't want something he's got to leave on the shelf
know.
till it is in good shape.
Okay.
Yeah, that was last night.
The-
So I'm saying you
Well,
don't have to do
no.
this immediately,
In
but
general.
Josie's is a time limit
yeah.
at this juncture.
There is a coroner in town, and also the graveyard where the infirmary buries.
Right. Yes. Okay, the coroner. Now, that we have not discussed yet. Tell me more about this coroner.
Coroner? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, there was
coroner.
a coroner. There's a coroner in town.
Coroner in town. There's a
Or
funeral
gravedigger.
parlor.
Funeral parlor.
There's a mortician. There's a
Okay.
that kind of thing, but there's no coroner.
Okay,
That's a different
I
thing.
used the wrong word.
Yeah, that's okay. I was trying to figure out what you're talking about.
Are we retroactively saying...
Undertaker.
Yeah.
He's an undertaker,
Undertaker.
not a coroner.
Okay. All right. So, tell me more about this Undertaker.
The-
Then.
the-
Do they have bodies?
it-
Yeah.
potentially, if they've not been buried.
You haven't heard about any deaths in town except for from the sickness in the last week or two. There's not a lot of gunfights. You're not. Guns are
Yeah.
frowned upon in town, and the local marshal keeps a pretty close eye on things as far as like undesirables showing up or people who are going to shoot up the town or something.
So, should we perhaps stop by there? I don't know why, if there aren't bodies, but it is in town, right? So it'd be closer to this graveyard.
But it would be harder if they had one.
To take it?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be locked
Yes.
up if it's not already in the ground.
Yeah, it's.
You've
I
heard
forget-
Dempsey sleeps in there. You don't know where he sleeps. You've heard rumors that Dempsey actually sleeps with the corpses. Just a rumor. You don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't think we ever depicted, decided where Dempsey is
No.
staying.
you've heard rumors that he sleeps in in one of the coffins. All kinds of weird rumors are going around town about Dempsey because he hasn't really gotten to know anybody. That's fair, right? He doesn't get close to people, right, Sean?
He doesn't. He's pretty
So
secluded individual.
he's secluded. He doesn't get out much. So rumors have been like flying fast and furious.
He's
Probably
got weird long arms.
Miss what's her name? Who's Josie's friend? Miss LaRoe.
Yeah.
LaRoe?
Yeah.
Eleanor? Oh,
LaRoe. LaRoe. Miss LaRoe has
LaRoe.
probably been one of the main instigators of various rumors that have flown back and forth throughout the town. She always knows everything about everybody.
Now, I will say, if he can find a good card game, he might be a part of that.
So he's in the saloon some nights playing cards. Unfortunately, most of the time, there's not a lot of gamblers come through here. You have heard of a high stakes game in town, Hutton. But it's like council members and people that own businesses, and you have no idea if Dempsey's hooked up with those people yet or not.
Okay.
It's like a weekly thing, and it's usually hundreds of dollars are moving around a table.
Yeah.
So, and it's private. It's not in. It's either in a private room in the hotel or it's at somebody's house.
Okay.
And that again, rumors. There's nothing. It's not newspaper
it's a
worthy.
rumor of the high
Yeah.
uppity ups.
Yeah, it's not really newsworthy as far as like, and you haven't been able to find out any other information on it. So,
Okay. I
yeah, Dempsey got
I
long arms
would-
like an ape.
yeah, he does.
He's an ape man.
He's a slender man.
Maybe.
I would suggest that the easiest would be the old graveyard.
Is that the one in town that I went to last night?
No,
No.
No, the infirmary one? Ah.
the old Prospector's
Okay,
graveyard
good.
is
Well,
what it's been in the papers. What they call it.
great. So shall we go to the infirmary so you can interview people during the day, and I can just accompany you and
That
dump it out?
that could work. If
Cool.
is Shaeder there with us? I think
Everybody's
he meant
there. All four of you
Everyone's
guys are there. You all had lunch together. You've had this long discussion.
All right, gentlemen,
So long.
your thoughts on digging up a body tonight?
Or part of one?
I truthfully want nothing to do with that.
Okay, that's understandable.
Use your charm, Hutton. Come on! Come on! Come on! No, I'm just kidding. No, don't make a roll. He's not going to succumb to it anyway.
I have no charm.
I wonder
I
why.
have fast talk.
It's a try.
Okay, so Shader's not interested, and that's fine.
Unless it's an impossible task, right?
They're looking at you now, Jimenez,
Yeah, and he's like,
because Hutton seems to be on board for digging up a coffin.
Come on, Fernando.
I'm
It'll
on
be like old
board
times.
for helping Isabella.
Is there no other way?
Do you want to kill the wizard?
No,
or
there's not. There's no other way. I'm telling you that right now because nobody has thought of any other way to get
It's-
body parts that are a week or two old.
Can,
And you guys have been discussing this for the last half an hour.
can you think of a way to get a decayed piece of a human?
A piece. Better bring the whole thing.
Are you asking
No.
Fernando?
Wait,
Yes.
He's asking Fernando,
Yes.
but Shader just answered, no.
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 Like,
How-
Infirmary, let's go. Come on.
how far was that town to the south? That was a couple days. wasn't
Town?
it?
What town are you talking? Oh, Dunwater? Yeah, that's a
Where-
ways. The one where all the
Yeah,
fish people were, there might be some corpses,
Yeah.
but those are going to be months old, dude. You really would rather have a 2 or 3 months old corpse that's been laying out in the open, rather than somebody who died a week or two ago. You really want to haul that back up here.
He's trying to think of a way where he doesn't have to dig up someone's loved one. Is how he's looking at
Yeah.
it.
It's just recycling.
Everyone is someone's loved one.
Yeah, but there was a big fight up there. A lot of people, freaking
Not those people.
Pete was just popping off people, shooting them in the head while they were rolling out to the big ship. Pop, 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 pop. So but they probably took their dead with them. Is your guess? The Quaalude attacked. Quinault, I think, were involved in that attack as well. But I know the Quaalude were there, and they probably would have taken their dead. Is your guess? Now, if there were any of the fish people, the Quinault that were killed that were left, they might have been left behind. Or they probably were either burned, the Quaalude hated them, or chucked into the ocean.
Yeah, and I don't remember what happened with the prisoners either.
Oh yeah, that creature thing? That's not a person. You don't think that anybody would want to eat that.
There was other people in there in that cell too, wasn't there?
There were those Confederates that Hazard took with him that had said,
Okay.
"Why did you leave us here for 3 weeks?" Remember? Because Hazard's like, "Yeah, I'll get you out," and then you guys just left for like a month, and then finally came back and were like, "Hey, we're back," and he's like, "Why did you leave us with this thing?"
Because we didn't trust you.
No, that's fair, but
Okay.
at the same
Yeah.
time,
So yeah.
that was a good idea, Aaron. I'm impressed. I'm giving you credit for
Yeah.
remembering that there might be bodies, but when you think about it more carefully, it's likely there's probably not bodies,
gonna
or they'd
take-
be nasty.
They're going to be super nasty, and
Super
it's also
nasty.
going to take It's going to take way too long.
Maybe if
because
you,
we went there by ship.
Yes,
and
you
I
would
think
have
it
to go
took
by
all
ship.
day,
You would have to go by
and it
ship.
took all day.
Yeah, it's a little ways.
And who's going to fucking want that on the
Yep, there you go. Nobody here's a pilot. Nobody has pilot boat, I don't think. So you've got to have a pilot.
Perhaps we could find something in the swamp. Everything's dying in the swamp. We can surely.
So Fernando grasps at fucking anything he can for like 5 minutes. Grasping at straws for like 5
I'm
minutes.
gonna roll persuade. Can I
No,
roll
but-
persuade?
No, I'm actually.
You
I'm
can,
saying,
but
like,
Aaron gets to
actually,
decide if it takes or not. Even if you make a successful roll, it's entirely up to Aaron whether.
That does bring up a good point. Does it have to be a person?
It sounds like it.
Yes,
Yeah,
it definitely has to be a
unfortunately.
person. Or a baby.
Yeah.
Babies are fine.
Or a
Babies
baby.
are not people.
Nom, 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 nom.
I'm not going to even mention
You don't say that?
or
Okay,
a
okay.
baby.
No problem.
Baby
No.
back, baby back, baby back, baby
No.
back.
Yeah, he was drooling all over the place when we started talking about babies.
Ew.
Well, it was hard to see. You
No.
probably didn't notice that.
That one is out. I'm not doing
Baby back
no.
babies.
No babies, no children.
Yeah,
No.
I know. Say that way. If you bring
Anyway,
that up,
anyway,
bring that up. Say
Back
that.
to
Say
the-
that as-
Okay,
that's
I'm
the
gonna roll
other
persuade
option.
on Fernando.
you can, but he doesn't have to take it. Even if you roll
Okay.
a critical success, he could just be like, "Nah, your reasoning is poor."
I failed anyway.
Yeah, so that works perfectly.
Um,
Can I point one thing out?
there-
Going up there to
there's one-
scout around during the day doesn't mean you have to dig up a fucking body.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's the
mean?
point. It's
Like,
initial.
you don't have to commit yet, Fernando,
Right,
if you
all
don't
right.
want to.
I mean, if
Yeah.
we're going,
I'd like
I'll
to
go up.
get something happening here, honestly, guys. You've been
I'm
talking for a
willing-
while.
Listen, I'm
I'll
willing to
go
go
up
up
to
to
I
the infirmary.
agree.
Okay, so you're willing to go to the infirmary too. The only one that's
Yeah,
been
I'm
there is
just-
Hutton. You guys could go
I'm just-
scout the area out, just see what's up with it, who these people are, maybe.
I'm just not willing to go grave robbing on behalf of something I don't think is a good idea.
He could be a good guard, though.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, we all have free will. I'm not going to force anyone to do anything, but
Except Fernando.
I would like to go to the infirmary.
Okay, so is everybody going up to the infirmary after lunch? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So you go through the swamp. It's bad. You follow the river a little ways, then you find the trail that breaks off into the swamp. There's another trail that follows the Kingfisher River up. Hutton knows at least that it runs all the way up to the falls, and then you come from a different direction, from more towards the that's north, so more towards the east. But as you come out of there's like a you come out of the wooded area of the swamp. So the salt marsh is below the freshwater marsh. The salt marsh is mostly just flat scrub brush. It's salt water. Not a lot of shit's growing there.
I'm closer to the ocean, right?
Yes, correct. And then beyond that is a freshwater marsh, which has trees and stuff like that. As you come out of the treed area, you can see a cliff ahead of you, a few hundred yards ahead of you. Off to your left, there are people, but it's pretty far away, like a quarter of a mile, and it looks like they're digging. And you remember they are working on a reservoir up here, because they want a reservoir to then take the water down into the town, and they're working on this reservoir. So you can see it from here. It's probably, like I said, about a half a mile away, so it's a good distance. It's not like boom right there, but the Prospector's graveyard is right there, kind of as you come out of the woods. You can also see the trail that goes up the side of the cliff, and you can see the building on top. That's the infirmary. It's still very wet here. The Prospector's graveyard. It's a clearing beside the path, and there's a few lonely gravestones. There are some newer graves. They're closer to this side of it. It's not very big. It's about the size. It's a little smaller than the one in town. I'm going to give y'all... let's see. Gaming text, Down Darker Trails. I'm going to throw you guys down a little... Let's just put you away. I'm going to throw you guys down a little map of the graveyard.
I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
Oh, Miss Eldridge's. So there's kind of what it looks like. You guys came from the lower right in this little map, and then it goes up further, and I'll give you a... Actually, I can give you guys a map of the graveyard and the here we go. You won't be able to see all of this quite yet, but there's the cliff face, there is the river past all the way at the top of the map, and you can see you can see the larger building of the infirmary and a smaller building not far from it.
All right.
You can easily see these buildings from here too. It's not a great distance.
At
And
this
we're,
the
like,
infirmary.
On the cliff above.
No, you're down at the bottom right-hand corner of the map. You just came out of the swamp.
Okay.
You're still in the swamp, but they've chosen this spot, or somebody did 20, 30 years ago, as a graveyard, and it's pretty nasty looking, and there are 4 new gravestones.
So
that are
those aren't
wood.
buildings; those are grave.
Yes.
tombstones?
Yeah.
Down at
Yeah.
Area D,
Markers.
those are tombstones. That's the Prospector's graveyard. So I'm giving you this to kind of give you an idea of where everything lies. F is the infirmary, and G is the secondary small building behind the infirmary that still kind of overlooks this cliff. It looks like it's a lot drier up there on the cliff face.
Okay. Got it. So we're walking through this little graveyard.
And actually, you haven't seen the reservoir yet. Sorry. You won't be able to see that till you get to the top of the cliff face.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you can walk through it if you want, or you can walk by it.
Yes. Through it.
Yeah, you can go in and look around.
That makes sense.
The newest boards that have names and dates on them. There's 4 of them. The older ones, a lot of them are rotten, hard to read, if not impossible. And it looks like the dates on some of the older ones are like 30 years ago, the 40s, late 40s, early 50s. So 25 years ago. The newer ones have the dates on them. The names are Prudence Dunn, January 7th, 1858 to May 21st, 1877. Finley Buchanan, August 11th, 1849 to June 1st, 1877. Ollie Archer, March 7th, 1846 to July 30th, 1877. And Mary Freeman, December 7th, 1851 to August 6th, 1877. So a little math proves that they run an age from about 19 to 31.
So
These are all people whose names
5 or
appear in
6?
the obituaries.
Yes. Well, you haven't looked over old papers yet, Alonzo, but you would assume that they would have been in obituaries. They were definitely also mentioned in front page stories. 2 of them were that you've seen, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I read the paper front to back. I had nothing else to do.
Right. Yeah. Definitely obituaries were in there as well.
If it was an obituary, I would have read it.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of them around a week old or 2?
Well, today's date's
Right
August
timeframe?
11th. So, wait, that can't be right.
There's
August 6th.
A week old, and the other 2 are even older than that.
August 6th, July 30th, June 1st. That's pretty old. May 21st. So 2 of them, the July 30th is almost 2 weeks old. The August 6th
what are
is
those
5
names,
days old.
Those 2 again?
That's Ollie Archer and Mary Freeman.
Oh, Mary, right.
Yes, you probably read about her in the paper.
Okay. Who's Ollie Archer? Do I know who that is?
No, not off the top of your head. You could probably look it up, old obituaries in the paper. It's only a couple weeks. You wouldn't have any trouble finding them. It wouldn't even require a roll.
Is Hutton there?
Yeah, everybody went.
Okay. I want to ask him who Ollie Archer is.
Hutton, give me an intelligence check to see if you recall.
If it's someone who their body would be missed. If anybody knew, I guess.
Regular success.
Regular success. He was he's survived by his father. He was a fisherman. And you think you remember his fishing boat was called Adoring Somebody.
Yep.
But you don't remember many specifics. It was an obituary. You can look it up when you get back to town if you want.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that anyone would be missed if their body was dug up.
Sure. Well, yes, Ollie Archer sounds like a good option to me, unless we find,
I guess
else.
if there is a bright side to this situation, their graves are fairly freshly dug.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't look like we would have disturbed much.
True.
Yeah, they're only a week too old, so they're still mounded up. They haven't sunken yet.
Right.
And no extra growth on them or anything.
No what?
Plants. Like grass or plants or whatever.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, it's still fresh dirt on the ground for the most part.
Yeah, there might be some creepers or something that are starting to move over the graves, but nothing major, nothing that would matter.
Okay. Well, great. So we have our target. Shall we head up to the infirmary then?
Well, yes.
You head up to the infirmary. It's a large building. There is a The short trail leads up several small but well leads to several small but well constructed buildings of stone and wood. Inside the gate is a dark-haired woman sitting in a small courtyard of the larger building, sewing beads onto orange silk. Noticing the approach of your party, she lays down the cloth and, smiling, approaches you. Here's the basics. Keep in mind you don't know what's in any of these rooms yet. The hell? There it is. So there's the basics of the clinic. F5, F6, and F7. You have no idea what's in those rooms. Keep that in mind. The room on the west side, F8, appears to be some kind of big storage room. Like you said, there's a small courtyard there, and there's a young woman with a very heavy accent that is not like Jimenez's accent. Is approaching you. The pleasant courtyard is filled with colorful plants and flowers. In one corner is a table and chairs for relaxing. The east wall has 3 doors and 3 windows. The west is the north is a large window. Looks like the main entrance, and then there is an open door on the west side, and that's probably to storage. Looks like it's just leaning open. And she greets you. She says, "Please come into the courtyard."
Okay. Well, let's do that then.
You go in.
Hutton's leading because he's the newspaper guy, or am I?
It doesn't
I'll
matter.
lead.
There's the woman. She looks very young, but she's not child size. She says, "I am Clarissa. I work with Father Lyman." She invites you to sit at the table with her. There's a couple of long, like bench-like chairs and a couple of smaller single chairs.
Yeah, I'll sit in one of the chairs.
She calls to a man. She goes, Brock! This big, giant guy comes lumbering around the side of the building. She says, "Bring wine." Or she looks over the 3 men, "Or whiskey." And he just nods, and he heads into the infirmary, and he's back within like 30 seconds. And he's got a couple of bottles, and some glasses. And one of the bottles is green. It looks like it has a dark liquid inside, and the other one's clear and has a brown liquid inside. The brown liquid one is marked. It's obviously whiskey. She says, "None of you look sick."
No, we're here on a fact-gathering mission, I suppose.
We're not you here the other day? She points at Hutton.
Yes, I was here on behalf of the paper.
Ah, what facts are you looking for? She says to Miss Isabella.
To me, oh. Well, I'm just accompanying my friend here for the most part, but do you happen to have a little girl named Bridget?
There is a little girl here. She struggles for her life. Yes. And your name, sir? She looks at Fernando with like a twinkle in her eye.
I am from Fernando.
Ah, you are very handsome, with a wonderful mustache.
Gracias.
It definitely is.
What
Glorious.
the hell?
And I'm Isabella. Right.
And you others?
What was her name again? I didn't catch it.
Clarissa is the name she gave you.
I'll wave and introduce myself from the back.
And this is Alonzo. Oh wait, you're there, right?
Yep.
With us? Okay. Yeah, I introduce you.
The little girl is here, but she is very badly sickened by the poisons of the terrible disease. We have anointed her with salves. Her father is with her. I do not know if she will make it or not. It's the worst I've seen.
Oh my. That that's awful. I wonder how that happened. Would
She caught
we
the
be able
sickness, the
to-
mosquito sickness. Father Lyman is trying to
Right.
find a cure. He's trying to find a way to. He's also trying to determine how it is spread.
Ah,
What are you doing to? What are these salves that you are using?
Oh, he has many herbs that he has found in the in the in the in the swamps. They calm the itching and they draw the poisons from the body. So he has told me.
I beg your pardon. Isn't it spread by the mosquito?
What? That's
You said you
ridiculous.
were-
Disease is not
Sorry,
spread by
how it's
mosquitoes. No, they call it the mosquito sickness because it looks like someone has been bitten all over their body by mosquitoes. It is a rash.
Sorry.
perhaps it
There's
is
nothing
the
to be
mosquito.
sorry for if you are learning. It's a good thing.
Perhaps there's something that draws the mosquitoes towards a certain person, and they attack and get sick from too many bites.
No, that could not be. Even the Mr.
No?
the Mr. Father has told us, and Father Lyman, when he brought her in this morning, that there was netting over her windows. She was
Oh.
protected from the mosquitoes.
Huh.
So you think the
Well, that is
mosquitoes are biting people in those numbers?
I thought
Uh,
that's why people called it the mosquito
perhaps they
sickness.
swarm?
No, they call it because when your arm is covered with the rash, it looks like 100 mosquito bites. And
Oh.
itches terribly.
Well, it
But
sounds
disease
like
is not
bites, that's all I'm saying.
disease is not carried by mosquitoes.
Oh.
You all know that is true. There have been no documented cases of mosquitoes carrying any kind of an illness by 1877.
But we know that they bite people,
Yeah,
and
but they don't.
probably
No,
bite
you
more-
do not make the connection
multiple-
because you're not smarter than scientists of the time, Josie, who it took them till late 1877 to figure out some of these diseases that were actually being carried by mosquitoes.
It just seems so obvious.
No,
But,
yeah,
okay,
well,
fair enough.
100 some years later maybe, but
Well,
Yeah.
the point is they called it the mosquito sickness. I assumed it was spread by mosquitoes.
that's fine. You can assume that. You could have assumed that, but
Yeah.
she's now educating you on the
She
fact
does
that
not think that that's the
it's a
case.
rash. It is a rash that looks like mosquito bites, and so that's why they call it the mosquito sickness.
Okay. So how do other rashes like this tend to spread? Do you know about other diseases?
Father Lyman has
How they
hypothesized, I believe that is the word, English is not my first language, that it might be born on saliva that one spits out of one's mouth unseen when speaking closely with someone else, or sweat from the skin when you touch someone else might spread the disease. He is still experimenting. Well, he is still hypothesizing and questioning all of the victims of the disease in the hopes of figuring out how it is spread. He thought,
But
as
the
you at
salve
first, that perhaps somehow mosquitoes, but he realized what that cannot be. That they were spreading it.
But the salve with ingredients from the swamp helps them and even saves their lives.
Yes, it draws out the
Correct.
poisons of the disease and it calms them enough they can sleep so they can heal.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Well, that's lovely what you're doing for these
She does like
people
this
here.
a few times while she's talking. There's a few mosquitoes around here. Up on this bluff, there is a breeze, and you guys noticed once you got to the top of the bluff, I'm retroing in, you could see the reservoir maybe a half mile away, and men working in it.
Can I have a hand fan with me?
Sure.
I'm like fanning myself.
Yeah, you can have a hand fan.
Fanning
You've
the
probably been
mosquitoes away.
carrying one a lot because it's been so hot.
Right.
Mr. Strong, Mr. Father is quite distressed.
Oh,
I'm sure any father would be distressed if their
Of
daughter
course.
was sick.
I'm sure you would
As it
make a
should be.
wonderful father. She says that to
No,
Fernando.
I,
And then she kind of gives you a look like,
It seems like Father Lyman, though, is the man you'd want to speak with. He knows more about this than anybody.
I'm afraid he is out in the swamp. He's gathering more herbs because we have run out, or nearly run out. I do not know when he will return. And he has left us, his servants, to see to his patients for now.
Perhaps we could go find him. Is the swamp area that
Do you know the swamp?
It would
Is it
be
a large
impossible.
area? I don't.
It's very dangerous. There are many
Oh,
there are many deep bogs and dangerous deadfalls.
oh,
I would
see.
not advise
Probably
going
best,
there.
if we want to speak to him, it's probably best to wait till he returns.
You could wait if you wish. I will have a meal brought. She stands up.
Oh,
Lovely.
She kind of gives you another look, Fernando, like
Okay.
like a come hither look, like a. And
I
then she
gotcha.
and then she walks back to the building. She goes in through the main door. It's about 20 minutes actually before she comes back, and she brings you. It's a simple meal. There's some meat, some bread, some cheese, some potatoes that have been cooked probably in a fire. You know what I mean? Like on the edge of the ashes, they were cooked. You can see a chimney coming out, and you can see where the fireplace is on the map. And there's just a trickle of smoke, like they've got a fire going on there probably all the time. And she's got it on a
Okay,
tray,
in
and
this
she
time
sets it
period,
back.
yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I just said in this time period, yeah.
Yeah, and
like
she puts the
it's
tray down and sits back down with you and makes small talk. She speaks in kind of broken English. She knows enough English that she can have a conversation, but obviously she has some difficulty with certain words. It's not
Okay.
her native tongue, you don't think?
right.
Um,
Obviously.
and she's definitely. Everybody notices this. She's definitely flirting a little bit with Fernando.
Maybe
And
they
Fernando's,
speak a little
yeah.
Spanish to each other.
No, she doesn't speak any Spanish to him, but she's definitely gives him a lot of come hither looks and that kind of thing.
And he's trying to avoid him. He's trying to avoid him at almost maybe without trying to seem rude. But
Okay.
um,
I read to you about the courtyard. You haven't been inside to really see the rest yet, and that's fine. Um,
Well, I was thinking whenever we're done eating, or like after a little while, I could ask her if we could go see Bridget and her father.
yes, yes. Bridget is not conscious. She sleeps. It's a very
Good,
disturbed
good.
sleep.
I
She
was thought
takes
the
you.
food is making me hungry. I'm gonna go grab a snack.
Yeah, okay. She I'm gonna only just I'll describe some things that Kevin. It doesn't really matter. She takes you through F2, which is the main room, lit by two windows. There's a hearth. One is close to the hearth. There is a little fire going on there. A lot of like hot coals. Um, the smell of cooking meat comes from the hearth. And it looks like they've got some food just like kind of constantly cooking there. There's the big man that you saw before. Brock, I think she called him. He is sitting at the table. It looks like he is carving a new handle for the worn-looking knife lying there. Um, she takes you through F3, as you can see. It's a small examination room. Simple chair, table long enough for a person to lie on. The walls are lined with shelves of pungent-smelling salves and poultices. A small box sits on one of the shelves among the jars. She takes you through that room into F4, which is like the infirmary proper. There's 5 beds. There's a window over each. It's very quiet and antiseptic. 5 small beds with clean white linens and soft pillows. Let's see. 4 of them are occupied now. It looks like there's 3 men, and they all appear to be only have a little bit of salve on them, and they might be on the mend, is your guess. There's a small table, 2 chairs in the center of the room, and next to each bed is also a small window with shades partially drawn, and mosquito netting over it. There's a big window at the end. You can see in the bed that's kind of when you walk in to the right and a little further away towards the middle of the room is Bridget, and she's covered up, and it looks like she's got salve on her. And sitting on the floor next to her, holding her hand, you recognize Byron Strong, her father. His face is wet, um, and he just
Eyes are red and puffy.
his eyes are red and puffy. Yes, he looks like he has been crying quite a bit. He's not doing so at the moment, but he looks like he's a mess. His hair is a mess. Um, he's wearing like his clothes are all rumpled, and he's obviously been here all day. Um, the other three men are asleep as well, and the woman goes, shh, 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 they're resting. And then she kind of gestures
off to the side of the door. I'm just going to stand off to the side of the door.
Well, she kind of gestures for y'all to come back out once you've had a look.
Oh.
I mean, the only one that's awake is Strong. He doesn't seem to have noticed you come in. And everybody else seems to be asleep or unconscious. Okay. So she takes you back out to the main room.
Yeah,
or she gestures for you to come. I don't know if you do it or not. I mean, that's up to you.
I will, yeah.
Okay.
I will then.
There's another man in there, blonde hair, small, thin. It looked like he was cleaning up a little bit in there and just finishing up. And when y'all leave, he follows you. Actually, he just goes, when y'all leave, he moves over and sits at a chair in that room. And then she closes the door behind, takes you back through the what the hell would you call it? The examination room, back to the living area, where the big guy is. He kind of looks at you as you walk in.
Back to F2.
Yes, back to F2. He's still working on carving a new handle for this knife that's sitting on the. It's a knife without a handle. Looks like he probably broke it or something. So it's just the blade and then a piece of metal sticking straight out. It looks like he's just carving something that'll fit in his hand. I am sorry that you could not stay in there, but they are all resting. I did not know they were all asleep. The rest is the most important thing, you see. The most important thing. Well, yes, the most important thing. The salve and the rest. In recovering, it is. There are, of course, other, even more important things for life in general. And then she gives you another look, Fernando.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I was kind of trying to leave them alone, like I could go talk to the father.
Nope.
Didn't work out.
Fernando's not going to be left alone with her.
She apparently doesn't want non-patients in there when all the patients are sleeping.
Yeah.
You're welcome to stay and wait.
Fernando's not into it.
I will need a psychology check for Fernando, if you wish. Fernando, you can oppose this if you want with either psychology or fast talk if you don't want her to know how you feel.
38.
No, he doesn't care about Josie.
Okay, then fine. Then you're not opposing her. You just whatever. Yeah. Is that success, Josie?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
38.
Yeah, Fernando doesn't seem that interested. You're welcome to stay. I do not know when Father Lyman will be back. Usually it is when his sacks and boxes are full.
Okay.
Has he been known to be gone for? Has he been known to be gone for days at times?
No. I would think the latest would be tonight sometime, is a guess.
You expect to be back by dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dark or just after. And you're welcome to stay.
We can wait if you wish, then.
Who are you saying that to?
Everyone else.
Okay. So yeah, Shaeder looks you all over.
And what time is it now?
Let's see. It was noon. You had lunch. It's probably about mid-afternoon, like 3 p.m. You guys sat outside and made small talk with her and ate and drank some whiskey and some wine. It's a sweet wine that she served you if you wanted to try that. The whiskey is just regular. It looks like whiskey they probably purchased in town. You know what I mean? Like at the general store.
Yeah.
It's a general grain whiskey.
Yeah. It's just regular whiskey. It's straight up not expensive, not cheap. It's just whiskey.
Yep.
And I'm drinking wine.
That's fine.
Fernando's probably actually drinking wine too.
All the glasses are just glasses. None of them are wine glasses. They're all just tumblers. But
actually, Andy,
she's fine with you staying as long as you wish.
That makes me think right now. My brain's not remembering. What year are we in?
1877.
Thank you.
If we are going to wait that long, we have other things we need to prepare for first. So we should probably do that and then come back later.
Oh, you are welcome
Well-
to come and go as you please. I do
I
not
was
want to
thinking
keep you
we
if you're
could
busy.
Discuss that with her not around. I
You're
get-
saying
it
that
gets
out
me
loud? You want to discuss that without her around? You say that?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well,
No,
after like
no.
another half an hour, she says, I do have duties. I will return. And then she heads back into the infirmary itself as well. You see Brock comes out shortly after that, and it looks like he's got a rifle on his shoulder. I think he's got a rifle. No, he doesn't. He's actually just got a wood axe. And he kind of goes out through the courtyard, just bypasses you without a word, and heads out. It looks like he's heading down the trail, and you guys will be able to. You can see the graveyard from here. Just,
Down
you know what I
the
mean?
Trail.
Yeah. He goes past the graveyard. You watch him. It takes him like 10 minutes. He goes down past the graveyard and goes into the swamp. And everybody can make a listen check after that.
Um,
And I mean, as soon as
I
he's
wanna-
gone, you guys could start talking and keep watching him while you're talking.
Success on list.
failed my lesson.
Anybody else?
Oh,
So far, it's just Alonzo.
I rolled
Hutton.
low, but I still failed.
Okay, so Alonzo and Hutton, after a little while, you do hear the distinctive sound of chopping wood out there in the swamp somewhere. Like he's picked a decent sized tree and he's working on chopping it down.
Okay.
Just a
so,
distant every once in a while.
So, from where we're at up here, can we see the grave that we pointed out earlier that Isabella said is the target or whatever?
The target.
Oh,
It's the target grave. You can just make it out. You know what I mean? Just
that
barely.
goes bad. That goes bad.
No, it's not that bad. You have to stand up and actually move over towards the edge of where this little stone wall is to even be able to see that end of the graveyard. Because all the graves were on the end of the graveyard closest to the path. Like, they took the coffins down,
I might,
found a near spot, and buried them.
I might get up and walk around a little bit,
Yeah.
trying to look nonchalant or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm trying. We'll walk next to the infirmary and maybe make a mental note of where everything's at from the graveyard. Then can I notice it?
There's only one. There are windows in those, whatever those three doors are on the west side or the east side, the top of the map.
Oh, that's true.
There are
Yeah,
windows,
all
but
the windows.
those are pretty far in.
Yeah.
You don't think that somebody
Okay.
could see the graveyard from there. And there's
And
one
from the
window.
From the infirmary, there's no way they could.
No, there's one window in the living quarters, but again, it's really far back. Unless you guys make
Okay.
light, you're pretty confident. You also
Right.
notice, and you can see it.
Something else I was going to suggest too is not to have any sort of light.
You also notice, and you can see it, is another building at area G, closer to the river. And it appears to have... Where the hell did I put the maps?
in the Down Darker Trails text or whatever.
No, I haven't put that
Index.
one up there yet.
Oh, gotcha.
There it is. There are no windows on this side of that building. You notice that. On the side of the building that faces
The graveyard. There's
the infirmary,
No windows.
yes, and there
Oh, okay.
doesn't. And if you actually walk down to the cliff to kind of try to get a look on the south side of that, there are no windows on that side of that little building either. And It's a
Okay.
pretty small building. It's big enough somebody could be living there. You don't know.
Okay. I mean that.
So we
could
don't
be
think
this-
there's like a guard or anything for the graveyard. I mean, there wouldn't be.
No
right?
idea. Unlikely.
Was there a guard for the one in town?
No.
So wouldn't you think they
Yeah.
would guard the one in town maybe before they guarded one out in the middle of nowhere? That's my thought on that.
I don't know, just because it's slightly different because these bodies are diseased. So I don't know.
Which is why who would want to dig them up?
That's true. They have told you the reason they get them in the ground out here instead of taking them back to town is that Father Lyman suspects it could spread the disease. Like someone in town touches one of the bodies and it is transmitted by touch, then somebody's going to catch the disease. You know what I mean? Or if they take it to the more to the undertakers, the undertaker has to redress the body or whatever. Boom. So
So they do all the undertaking here, then?
your basic guess is they put the body in a coffin. They get it in the ground as quick as they can.
Got it.
Mm.
So no embalming. That was
No,
the
no, there's no
thing.
embalming
No,
yet.
no. Yeah,
Not
there's
yet.
no such thing as embalming yet.
There might be back east. There certainly isn't out
Right.
here in this town.
Or
Like,
maybe
I mean, we know about Egyptian mummies and stuff, but I don't know. if
Right, but
people,
not-
like-
Not in the United States at this time period. It wasn't a common practice.
Okay.
Usually the
They don't
families
even
are
know
actually
how-
preparing the bodies in most cases, unless Salt Marsh has a mortician, so it's kind of fancy. So the mortician probably does most of the work, but the families probably pitch in.
Okay. Great.
But no, actually, Jimenez, from the look of this place, there's no, unless somebody actually walks out to the ledge at night, it's a big ass moon, they probably won't see you down there.
Okay.
It's a full
And this
moon
is
tonight.
August 11th.
Is that-
Saturday the 11th. No, 9th was a new moon. So you're barely going to have a sliver of a moon here on the 11th. It's very dark at night. Oh, and by the way, after lunch, when you went back out and you started heading this way, the gloom had kind of burned off and it was a nice, beautiful sunny day.
Nice. And we're just hanging out outside in the courtyard,
Yeah,
right?
in the courtyard. There's still some
Yeah.
cheese and food, a little bit of food there, and
So yes, now that there's no one else around, if we wanted to wait here, we should at least some of us should go back and get some shovels, and at least set them out next to the wood or something. So if we want to wait here potentially until nightfall, And then-
There probably are some here as well. Somewhere. I don't know if it's better to take them from somewhere in town or to. I'm sure there's a storage shed or.
I could always borrow some from Mr. Hazard's. There's plenty of shovels around there. No one would.
that's a ways. But yeah, you could certainly get there and
Yeah.
back before nightfall.
And I could avoid town altogether, so no one would see me leaving with shovels.
Right. Now, do we want to take the whole body, or do we want to just take part of it? I guess I don't know how much I need. I
Well,
prefer
I
not
mean,
to-
I mean, if
Would
I-
you be happier with more than less?
it would be
Also, how are we
harder.
gonna
It would be
transport it?
harder to transport a whole body. I did think though, what if you did
Wheelbarrow?
that? What if you did a seance, or could you call him up here? Could you call him to this graveyard?
From your understanding, it's the nearest ghoul. You would have to
Or
do
is
it in the
he-
graveyard.
Right.
You also have to chant, and you can't just whisper. You chant. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
Like it's like
Okay.
singing voice level of
Yeah.
Yeah.
chanting.
Well,
Perhaps
or at
the
least
cliff
talking.
reverberate the voice, and it might be heard. if
It's
we
only a
do
couple
it.
hundred yards between this graveyard and that, and you know people are in the infirmary. You knew nobody was in the church last night, and that was the closest structure.
Right.
And you're pretty confident that if the Browns heard somebody out in the graveyard, they would probably not come out to investigate. That family that lives in that that little that farm that's next to the graveyard, because that can't be nothing good. If someone's out in the graveyard chanting, nope. Make sure we got our guns
Yeah.
and the doors are locked.
But okay, so
So, and I might not need to cast the spell again if we do go
That-
to
that
the
was
other
just a
graveyard.
thought.
That's true. He said he was coming back the next night,
Okay,
so it wouldn't cost you
So-
magic
I
points. It
prefer
wouldn't
not
cost you
to.
sanity. Yeah.
it'd be
So,
easier to. I see it being no different if we're going to dig up a body. That's no different than desecrating a corpse, then I assume. Um,
Uh,
and I would rather come back. I would rather just carry a leg, something
A
something
leg.
that it
yes.
smaller than a whole body.
I agree. I don't know if that will be enough for. Did I learn the ghoul's name? Did I
He
talk
did
Tell
about
him.
that?
not tell you his name. No, you didn't ask it
Yes.
either. So
Okay. Right.
Could you tell him how to
I
get?
don't know if that would be enough for the ghoul.
Could you
Um,
tell him how to get to here from there? Tell him that
Perhaps the more I
there are
give him, the
four
more he'll give
four
me.
fresh bodies he could take on his
I
own,
could
and we
mention
could
that. Yeah.
worry less about desecrating a grave.
I think I have to bring him something though, at least for this favor.
Right. What are you asking him to do exactly? I was not.
Help us kill the wizard. I guess that's that's the idea in general. Unless you have a better, more specific idea.
oh,
I've
that'd be awesome.
I I've seen
Sean wants to
ghouls
summon the
before.
wizard, and then you got a ghoul to help you kill him. Hell yeah! Lots
That's
of
what I was
sanity
thinking.
losses all around, though. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Let me just go
Or we can
insane.
just go. Yeah, we can just make our own infirmary. You know, for crazy people. We can
Yeah.
all go there.
I'm gonna, by the way, light my pipe and take a stroll around the courtyard.
Sure.
Because I'm
You smell the
not wanting to
sweet.
be part of this conversation.
You smell the sweet smell of opium
Yep.
and
And you're not
tobacco.
participating anyway in this
I am not. No.
whole grave robbing.
I think this is a terrible idea. My participation, is therefore, I am therefore voting with my feet by not participating.
They're the best bodies, though,
Fair
for what they need. Okay. So, what is the plan? What do you guys
How are you
want to
gonna
do?
help us kill the wizard though?
He has a
Don't
pistol.
know.
You probably have a rifle
Say, but
too,
yeah.
don't you, Kevin? Does your character? Does he travel with a rifle? Or does he just have a pistol and a saber as his sidearms?
Okay.
Do you have a rifle or just a
Yeah, I
pistol and a
think so.
saber currently?
For a trip like this, outside into a swamp, I'm take the rifle along.
You do have a rifle, though, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure if your character even had a rifle. So,
I
okay,
do.
cool.
I don't pack it very often, but out in a swamp where
Yeah.
you know
Snakes,
dangerous creatures like that live.
animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got his rifle with him. It's probably over his shoulder. It's leaning against the wall or something nearby where it's
And
out of the way.
oh, man, I forget that Mexican.
Jimenez is not armed currently. I don't think.
No, I think you'd have his at least his pistol or something.
You take your pistol into town.
No, not into town. But if we were heading out of
You
town,
didn't go back to Hazards.
Oh,
You got to go
that's
all
true,
the way
okay.
back to Hazards and then come back if you want to get a weapon.
all right.
So
yeah,
unless
that's
you
true.
wear it into town or bring it into town and drop it off somewhere or whatever you want to do.
Oh yeah, then actually, then that's all the more reason for him to even want to go back to Hazards.
Oh yeah,
The
I would like to be
shovel's
armed
there.
for this mess. Okay, so what's the
Yeah.
plan? What do you guys want to do? We've talked this thing well through. It's time for action.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
feeling better, so I'm gonna run this till about 10, but it's not gonna go over tonight for sure.
So yeah, I think we're planning on Fernando will ride out, get some shovels, and get armed, and then head back here.
And then
Hopefully, the father shows
Father
up
Lyman.
sometime.
Yeah.
Father Lyman shows up either shortly before or like around dusk or something.
Mhm.
And then that can be our alibi as why we're coming back so late.
yeah, okay. So you're gonna go ahead and head in. So you do spot this gigantic, rough-looking guy out in the swamp. It looks like he's picked a small tree that he's chopped down, and now he's cutting it into
Sometime where
logs. He's not very close to you. Like you notice him through the trees, so you don't have to deal
where
with
the
him too
water
much.
from the salt marsh washed in a little bit further inland and polluted some of the fresh water and killed off some of the trees. It's a dead tree or something. I don't know.
You don't know. He's
I
chopped
don't
down
know.
a tree that's there. Um, Uh,
Actually, come to think of it, while I am
okay.
wandering about and letting my mind wander,
Yeah.
uh, is there? Can I make a natural world roll? Is this swamp operating like swamps are supposed to,
Sure, you can
with the
make a
fresh
natural
water
roll.
and the salt water?
Yeah. Do you actually want to go down into the swamp to look more carefully, or do you just want to kind of recall what you've seen as you've passed through?
I'll walk down and have a look. See.
Okay. You'll be passing Brock
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
He's not near you. It's like
And
50 or
yes, I
60 yards
succeed.
away. So you go down, you're looking around. Yeah, it does look like this is working as a swamp should. The
Okay.
water swamp is obviously fed by the ocean somewhere, probably underground. Um, and then the freshwater swamp is a little bit higher than that. The water is, of course, still murky, and obviously you do not want to drink it, probably, unless you are really, really
I do
extremely
not want to drink it.
desperate. No, but I'm saying
Yep.
it's murky, but there's woods. You hear animals out and about in the swamp occasionally, birds, that kind of thing. You even spot a couple bats hanging from a tree that's actually really well shaded. Um,
And I'll
uh,
probably be able to get a sense of where the division is, like the
yes,
at the
yeah, yeah,
outskirts,
you can,
which is where the
because it's when the
saltwater ends and
trees,
the freshwater begins.
yeah, the trees start getting smaller and smaller, like their growth is stunted until they
Yep.
stop, and it's in that vicinity is where the salt marsh really kind of takes over. Like they're still getting
Okay.
some fresh water, but the salt water is also fucking killing them at the same time, so they're not doing very well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
you c
the mosquitoes should be probably thicker here because this is
yes,
standing water.
they're pretty thick. The woods, especially, you're not getting any breeze or anything in there, so there's a lot. You're doing a lot
So,
of this and
so
that kind of thing.
actually, what I'll do is I'll take a torch with me.
Oh, okay,
Smoke will keep the mosquitoes away from me.
it does help. Um,
Yeah. But then I'll come back.
okay, so
I'm just curious,
Alonzo's
with all
going
the
for.
weird shit and diseases, just checking. Wondering, is
I
there
don't know.
anything
He's
about?
also smoking his like opium pipe too. That's probably keeping
Yes.
him at bay a little bit too.
That's true.
So I
Uh,
have both a lit pipe and a lit torch. So I
so
have two sources of fire.
Alonzo comes back first. Fernando, it's actually like 3 hours before you get back because you got to
Yeah.
find these tools, and you only found one shovel in like this in no, you found two shovels
And
in a storage
there's one.
house, like a little
I
storage, like a
figured there's at
shed.
least one in the barnyard because he said he would take care of the horses, so he'd have to have
There's
a
one
shovel
there, and
too.
there's one in the shed. You thought there's more around here somewhere, but you're not sure. You go and check the basement as well. Give me a spot hidden, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Make me figure this stuff out. Um, no, damn it.
Okay,
No,
and okay, you go back out. It's not. There's none in the basement. You do look in the barn
I didn't
again. You
notice
find a
anything.
second one that has been put in the wrong place. Maybe,
Oh.
maybe by you. You don't remember. You don't think it was by you. Somebody did it. So you grab those things. You strap 'em on your saddle. You head back. So you get back probably around.
It grabbed my rifle and my pistols.
Yeah, yeah,
Pistol.
yeah. You're armed.
Yeah,
You're all
yeah.
set up. Uh, you get back a few hours later. It's probably about 6 p.m. It's still well light out, obviously, but the sun is
I
kind of heading that direction for.
As I'm heading back in, as I'm getting close to the graveyard,
Yeah.
is Brock still out and about?
No, no. You don't hear
All right.
you don't hear anybody cutting wood,
So
and you don't
if
see
he's not
anybody out there.
if he's not out and about, then I'm gonna set the shovels off
Mm-hmm.
like next to a tree down
Yeah.
there at the graveyard.
Yeah. So yeah,
Or
you know
near
where they
the
are.
graveyard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you return. Clarissa has come a couple times to see how you were doing, to apologize for Father Lyman not being back yet. She is hoping that he's going to bring a bounty of herbs that they need right now. And then she goes back off to do her work or her duties or whatever she's supposed to be doing. You did see Brock come back. Probably Alonzo. Alonzo came back first, then Brock came back with a load of firewood. Then went back out, went out like 2 or 3 times, bringing back more wood, which he then laid outside the courtyard. He cut wood there for a while, took some of it inside, and it looks like people they're just all kind of doing their little jobs around this place. And then Fernando comes back on foot, right? Fernando, you're not bringing the horse back, are you?
I would have to travel through the swamp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay,
he's coming back
so
on
he
foot.
comes back on foot. It gets later and later. About an Clarissa, you're guessing it's about an hour till sundown when she cautions you that you should probably return to town as it is going as it's very treacherous even on the trail at night in the swamp. It's easy to mistake your way or to take the wrong way. Um, but you're welcome to stay as long as you want. As far as that goes, she just is warning it's probably not safe to travel in the swamp at night.
Right. Well, I was thinking before that, while we were waiting, perhaps Hutton and I could go talk to Mr. Strong at some point
Make a luck check.
if he is open to it. Huh?
Make a luck check.
Make a luck check.
31.
Okay.
Success.
She checks in with
Also doing
him.
hard-
He's willing. He comes out to talk to you. He keeps looking back at the door nervously, and finally sits down. He looks like a wreck. He is just a mess. This will be before Jimenez gets back, but probably after Shaeder has come back. You want
And
to
I
speak to
haven't
me?
met him, right?
No, you
Mr.
haven't met the
Strong?
blacksmith. No, Shader's met him, and Hutton knows of him because he's been here for a few months.
Yep.
You wanted to
Okay.
speak to me? He's
Mr.
looking at
Hutton, did
you,
wanna
Isabella.
interview? Oh, yes, Mr. Strong, I am so sorry for what you're going through.
All right.
How is Bridget doing?
Poorly. She hasn't woken up since we got back. Since we got here, he says.
Oh,
I'd like to get back to her.
so sorry. Okay, yes, of course. I'm sorry. My name's Isabella.
Hello?
I met Bridget the other day at in town, and uh, well, I taught her to draw a little bit, and
Is,
she's a very sweet girl.
I'd like to get back to her. Is there any point to this?
Oh, I wanted to check on her, and I thought that Mr. Hutton would want to possibly interview you, but
No. I don't want to talk about this.
no?
I'm not going to talk about this
Oh,
with him.
oh, okay. That's totally understandable. I didn't mean to disturb you. I just thought,
I'm going to get back to my daughter. And he heads back in.
okay. Sorry, Mr. Strong.
He just goes into the infirmary again. Jimenez shows up, and then Clarissa, uh, like I said, about an hour before dawn, she comes out again, or out before dusk, and warns you of the dangers of the swamp. You're welcome to stay, but it's very dangerous to be traveling through the swamp at night. So she's just giving you that warning before she goes back to work. The sun sets about a half an hour after dark. After the sun is set, you see a figure coming up the trail. He came. You're not certain exactly where he came from, but he didn't come from like the graveyard. He came from probably somewhere straight out from the infirmary or something to that effect. And it is a man in black clothing. He's got the priest's collar.
Holler.
Yeah, he's got a beard. I've got a picture
I
of
would
him.
definitely like to talk
He is
to him.
he is carrying all kinds of here he is. He's carrying all kind. Oops, this is not where I want to put him. I want to put him in NPCs. He's carrying all kinds of. He's got like several. Hold on. He's got several bags. He's got like these boxes that may like look like they're wicker with. They've got long straps on them. Everything looks pretty full. And
Do I recognize the herbs he's
no,
carrying?
no, you don't. You can't even see them. They're inside these wicker baskets that are closed on top, and then there's like a leather strap. Uh, and he comes up, and Clarissa leaves the infirmary not long after you spot him, and she goes out to help him. She grabs a couple of the bags, and he says, I'll be with you in just a minute." And then they both go into the infirmary, and when he comes back out a minute later, he doesn't have any of the stuff. He's just his clothing, and he comes over to you and goes, "Did Clarissa not warn you about how dangerous the swamp's very dangerous at night?"
Oh, she
Yes.
did. We were hoping to speak to you.
Oh, of course, but I would just. He sits down. He says, "How can I help you?" He smells like herbs. You know what I mean? Like this herb.
He has a very
Yeah,
Yeah.
he smells kind of fresh and clean. You know, like
Grassy.
yeah,
maybe
various
a little
kinds of herbs come.
or a
The smell
sweet.
is
Yeah.
coming off, and definitely, and you can. It's very distinct. How can
I'm
I?
curious about the herbs.
What do you need?
Hutton, Fernando, anyone else want to say anything?
Oh, you're the one that wanted to talk to
Is
him.
it just me here? Like, am I the only one that cares
Yeah,
about
just
this? I
go. Just talk
don't
to
know
him.
what's up.
Go ahead. He's looking over everybody.
Okay.
Somebody talk.
Yeah. I came to show these individuals where the infirmary was.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, you know where it is now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Uh, I appreciate it.
What kind of herbs do you use on these people? I was wondering.
There are various different kinds that I've been able to find here in the swamp. I have not perfected it yet, so I'd rather not. I don't even think you would understand the various genus and species of the plants. None of you are botanists, are you?
Oh, nah, no,
Aren't you
but
just
perhaps
deciding-
amateur.
No,
I'll spend some time in the wild.
that's fine. It's various herbs that I've found in the swamp.
Oh, well, that's very intriguing. I would love to learn more. At some point, perhaps. Do you teach at all?
No, not presently. But of course, we have this terrible rampant disease right now, so I don't really have the time. If I'm not out in the swamp looking for more samples of these things, then I'm doing my best to help whoever I can, and of course, changing the consistency. And he starts to talk about putting different amounts of stuff into the poultices and that kind of thing, as he is trying to make them more effective against someone who's caught the mosquito sickness.
Will
Can I
either
take notes?
medicine or chemistry help here? While I'm listening?
No, the way he's talking, it's
Natural
it's
world.
definitely
natural world or chemistry.
no, you're definitely going to need science botany for this, and he's not mentioning the names of any of the herbs. You're just getting the impression that he's talking about the fact that he's changing some of the consistency, the amounts that he's putting in to the salve in order to better serve the people at this juncture. This is like a fucking doctor talking about medicine, and he's using doctor terms as opposed,
medicine.
as opposed
Yes.
to trying to dummy it down for somebody. He doesn't really seem to care if you understand or not, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? Like, he's not
Now-
trying to make you understand. He's just saying,
Yeah.
He's a fan
Father,
of the man.
you take- Do you take volunteers at all? Would you need an extra helping hand here at some point?
not currently, but if things get worse, yes.
Okay. I would love to come back if I have some time. I've been teaching in town, but
Yes, you're welcome to come back
I'd love
anytime.
to lend a hand sometime.
You're welcome to come back anytime. I don't want too many people working here, as if someone catches the mosquito sickness, I don't want it to spread.
Certainly. Of course.
We're all
That makes
using
sense.
leather gloves. We're trying. I've hypothesized that possibly it's transferred by sweat or by saliva. He starts again, medical fucking herbalist botany crap
Yeah.
is what he's talking about, and it's kind of going over your heads.
For sure. Did we all have anything else we wanted to ask him? I forget.
I did it.
Didn't we? I thought.
I don't think so. You were coming to scout the place out to dig up a corpse. Was the main thing. It's
Oh,
gotten pretty dark. Oh, let's see.
I was curious as to what he
I
knew
guess-
about how he did what he did, but
You're curious
told
as
us insofar as he's told us insofar as he's going to explain, which is to say he isn't
Right.
going to explain.
No, he's explained, but it's gone over everybody's heads because it's like high botany level shit and biology.
Yeah, he's not a good teacher. He doesn't know how to bridge the gap.
No,
Yeah,
apparently.
or he's
we
not
don't-
trying to teach. He doesn't care about teaching right now. He's got
Yeah.
a little girl in there who's potentially dying.
Right, and I was
So-
going to ask about that. How is
Okay.
Bridget doing? Do you think she will pull through?
I haven't had a chance to look at her yet.
Oh,
Clarissa's applying some more of the salve. I can. I'll be looking in on her once I'm done with you folks.
well, okay.
Let's let you
We
get
will
to
let
that.
you get back to it then.
Thank you.
good luck and Godspeed,
Well, if you have any more
Father.
questions, don't feel free to stop by. Uh, again, I don't want too many people working on the sick, just in case it would be a way to spread the disease.
Right.
That's why Mr. Horval and Clarissa and Mr. Horval, Mr. Clarissa, and Mr. Dunchett, they live out here, so there's little chance that they're going to spread it back into town. If
Oh,
you
I see.
if you came out here to work and then return to town, we could have a full blown plague on our hands if some of my
Oh,
hypotheses are correct.
I take it they live off over, and I point to the other house, essentially.
No, no, they're right here. He points to the 3 doors with window next to each
Oh,
one.
okay.
That's where they are. I'm out there. That's my own. Sometimes one has to have a place of their own. And when the men were kind enough to build a small little house outside of the infirmary itself, I decided sometimes a man needs some privacy and a little bit of rest. But I need to go
Oh
and
yes,
see if I
it's
can
good to
help
keep
out.
work and home separate. Yes.
Yes, exactly, exactly. You understand.
Right.
But
Um,
yes, we'll let
Right.
you get back to your work.
Clarissa comes out
Good luck.
at that point. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, Clarissa, yes, they're. I believe they're just leaving, and then he heads into the infirmary at a brisk pace. She comes out. She stands real close to Fernando, and she puts an arm on
Well,
his arm, her hand on his
we
arm,
must
and she
we must
says,
be off.
"Be careful in the swamp." And she gives you like a come hither look again. Um, and then you guys leave, right? Is
I'm
that what?
sure we will be fine. I'm sure we will be fine.
I could not bear it if
Is
something
it dark
happened to you.
already?
Say what?
Is it like dark, dark?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
pretty dark. Yeah, you guys talked to him for a little while. He didn't show up till like an hour after the sun went down, and so it's good and dark. And there's almost no moon, and it's kind of you got some clouds come blowing in from from the Pacific, and so yeah, it's getting pretty dark.
Did we
Let's
bring a lantern by
get out of here.
chance?
Nope.
No,
We
nobody
don't need
brought
a
a
lantern.
lantern. I believe Shaeder has some torches, but that's about
Yeah.
it. And he's probably got one that he lit before, but you don't want to light. You don't. At least digging up the grave, you certainly don't want a torch.
We're not going to be able to see it, though.
It's gonna be pretty dark.
Have you ever been out into the woods when it's just dark? Your
I
eyes
guess
will
your eyes
adjust.
adjust.
Your
hmm
eyes adjust eventually.
They'll adjust well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
it
know
might get
which
really dark.
you know which grave you want. You checked it out earlier. You'll easily be able to. You go back down. You can easily find that grave. Is Shader
I
heading back
will
to town,
suggest.
or is he gonna stick around?
I'm going to stick around, although I'm not participating in this. I
Mhm.
also don't want them to get lost in the swamp. So
You're
Yes.
like
what
our
I'll
guard.
do is I'll make my way part down the trail. I will keep a torch going because I will keep mosquitoes away from me.
So you're going
They
into
can
the
do it.
into the swamp
They can,
itself, like the wooded
they can do
area,
what they like.
and then you're gonna light
I'm
a torch. Is that what I'm
Yeah,
hearing? Okay.
yeah. I'm positioned part way down the trail.
Okay.
So basically, I start for home, but I'm stopping after I go only a short distance.
Only a short distance, or do you want to go down to where the salt marsh begins? And I'll tell you,
Um,
that might be better for not no one up in the infirmary seeing your light out in the swamp.
okay, then I'll do that.
Okay.
Although it doesn't
So,
matter if they see me because I'm not doing anything else.
but if they see you,
Well,
they see a
a
light in the swamp, they may
stationary
be
light.
like, "Hey, who's that? Let's go see."
Yeah,
And they have to walk
so that's
right
fine
by
because
the
I'm not.
freaking graveyard. So
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's a different issue.
it could happen. I'm saying if they're looking out windows or whatever.
Oh,
Okay. So Fernando finds the shovels, brings them out to the three of you. There are 3 shovels for 3 of you, and you can set to work. It seems so
I
loud. It's like
will say
super
I'm gonna
loud.
suggest waiting a little bit, or at least going slow at first until
Okay.
we're fairly certain that people in the infirmary may be asleep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you wait. How long do you want to wait?
I'm just saying, like I said, let's
Do you want to
go
wait?
slow at
Do
first.
you want to wait?
So
You said you
mine is
said we should wait.
Like a half an
Half an
hour
hour.
to an
Okay.
hour.
So you go into the darkness. You hide in there. You're kind of waiting and waiting. You're just about to get
And
started.
granted, we don't have pocket watches or anything like that.
You're just
Yeah.
guesstimating. When you're about to get
Yeah.
started again, you hear footsteps coming from the direction of the
Oh, no.
infirmary. You see a man walk right by you, and it's super dark out here. Doesn't have a torch or anything. He's kind of hunched over, as he walks right. He's maybe 15 feet from you. Walks right by. Doesn't even seem to pay any attention. He's sniffing like that quite a bit
Oh no.
as he walks by, and he disappears into the woods.
Ouch.
Okay, we'll deal with
How
that
big was this
momentarily.
man?
Huh?
How big was that man? How big was that man?
Let's see. Average size. Average size
All right.
man. It's too dark for you to really tell who it was unless. Yeah,
Right.
it's too late and he's
Okay,
gone
got
anyway
you.
already. I'll tell you who walks by you, Alonzo, here shortly, but I want to see what they do first. Now, do you want to give him some time before you start digging? It's for him to go away.
I guess
Kinda.
I turn to them and whisper, I think that was that the
I-
father?
Who? Was it who?
The
The
father.
father?
There's no. I'm not even giving you a spot hidden. There's no way
way.
you could tell him. It's so dark.
I might wanna. I might want to duck into like a bush or something, or make a hide just in
Well, you
case
guys,
he comes back.
you guys had hidden yourselves near the graveyard before you were about to get started. This guy walked by.
Okay.
How long do you want to give him to be gone before you start up? I need an amount of time.
Definitely.
Half
Say
an hour. Another half hour? Okay.
Yeah.
So you wait another half an hour, and then you start to work. You start working. You're trying to work real slow and being really quiet as best you can. It'll take you longer. Even with 3 of you working, it'll probably take you a good hour to dig this grave out. It's not a real deep grave. It's not a full 6 feet deep. It's more
Okay.
like 4
That was
feet
something.
deep. You also are
That was something
having
I
a
wanted.
little trouble because there's so much water in it. This is a terrible place for a graveyard in a
Oh,
swamp.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're having to
Uh-huh.
slough out water, and you're having to
What-
slough out mud. You're
yeah,
getting
what-
covered in mud, by the way. Everybody's going to be a mess. And it's got this weird funk smell like swamp water. So this is not fun. And then
Mosquitoes biting us.
there are some mosquitoes. There are not many mosquitoes here. I mean, they were kind of harassing you on the way here. There was some up by the clinic. There's almost none here. You started thinking
It's like
about,
they don't like dead body smell.
I don't know.
or
All you know
something.
is there's like none of them here.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then there's a clunk as one of your shovels hits wood. You manage to manhandle it out. You're having to pull it up out of water, out of almost like standing water. And that's probably why they didn't bury him too deep, because they couldn't dig much further than that. And you pull this coffin out you were going for, what's his name? The fisherman,
Ollie
right?
Archer.
Ollie Archer, right.
Mm,
Yep. So you pull the coffin out. It's a simple wooden coffin. It's got the lid is just lays on top and it's nailed shut.
Uh-oh. It's nailed shut.
Mhm.
Right.
There's just there's like a
Okay.
there's like a dozen nails.
I'll take the end of the shovel and
Okay,
use
you're
the
gonna
shovel
pry it
to
up.
pry
Okay,
open.
so we're gonna jump to
Yeah.
Alonzo. Alonzo, you heard footsteps. You were kind of sitting there, a little inside the woods from where it really peters out and becomes salt marsh. And you make me a listen check. Let's see how much time you've got before this guy arrives at your location.
Okay. Let's find out.
Yeah.
No, I failed.
Okay, so you don't hear.
Wait, no,
any-
correction. I succeeded.
You succeeded. You do
Yeah.
hear footsteps coming down the trail behind you, like splashing. Like it's very muddy, so it's like splot, splot, splot.
Okay.
You're guessing
I'm gonna-
whoever it is has seen the light. I mean, there's no way they're
Okay.
not going to see the
What I'm
light.
going to do is I'm going to put the torch down
Okay,
so it's still burning.
right, like stick it
Rather
in the
than
ground.
firing to the ground.
Okay,
And I'm going to move a bit away from it.
okay. A man comes
Quietly.
walking. He
So I can
slows
see
to
him
look at
and
the
definitely
torch,
go out.
and you recognize Byron Strong. His face is wet. He keeps sniffing, and you can see tears are just kind of coming out of his eyes. And he stops and he kind of looks at the torch like he's very confused about what the hell is that doing here. But he doesn't. He looks at it for. He doesn't even look confused. He looks confused. He doesn't. He's not like. He's more like. And then he just kind of keeps walking towards town. And you can hear him sniffing. And he's
Actually,
doing a lot of
as
this.
he goes by,
And
I
sometimes he's
will
doing
act
this.
as if I am coming off the trail, like I'm basically doing a little science.
Mhm.
Hey, Mr. Strong, is that you?
He kind of looks at you, and again he just looks like confused.
disheveled.
Yeah, and he goes, "Have you stepped into the light yet, Alonzo?"
Yeah, I will.
Okay. And once he recognizes you and your uniform and everything, and he's like, "Oh, hello, Miss Lieutenant Shaeder."
Sorry, I was
More
doing a
tears
little
start
fence
coming.
surveying. Are you all right?
No, no, no. Bridget's gone. Bridget's gone. And
Oh,
then he kind of stumbles and he continues on his way.
I'm, I'm sorry.
You see him nod. You see the back of his head as he nods, but he looks completely dispirited. Inspirited, dispirited. I don't know if that's a
Yeah,
word.
no, I think
I don't know if
I
that's a
think
word.
that's a good word.
I'll hand him the torch.
Okay, so you grab the torch and you hand it to him.
Here,
When you push it
take
towards him, yeah, he takes it. He's
and
sniffing.
get home safely. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And then he continues on his way. And you can see the
I'll
torch
get
like
out.
bobbing down the trail towards the
Yeah,
river.
I'll get out another one and start it up.
Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, back at the graveyard with very few mosquitoes, you.
Mhm.
Oh God, that's so loud! As nails pull out of wood, and finally you get it out enough that you think you can give me. I'll need a strength check to like finish it off and pull the lid up, the last bit, so you can look into the grave. Everybody can make a spot hidden real quick too.
I made a regular success.
That's all you need. A regular success is one last wrench, and you bring up the lid, and it kind of flops back over onto its top. Um, who made a spot hidden? Were you spot hidden for this?
That
Oh.
is
Mine was a
a
regular.
Regular's all you
hard
need.
success.
Hard.
Hard,
Yeah,
hard, and a
hard
regular.
as
All
well.
three of you stop. Are like you were expecting there to be a stench, like a terrible stench. There's not. And when you look into the coffin, you see um, that it is filled with sandbags. There's no body.
No. What?
Yeah,
That's a problem.
Oh my god. How dare you?
I'm just doing what's written
Rude.
down. I didn't do this to you. Uh, I'm just doing what's written down.
This was done way in advance.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Fernando and Hutton. I
There's
guess
actually
is
a slight sigh of relief on Fernando's. Oh wait, it's too dark. You can't tell.
and my sigh is of exasperation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sandbags.
Uh,
Probably enough sandbags so it would weigh about the same amount as a body.
Where did the body go? What the hell? What does this mean?
I
Miss Eldridge starts screaming. Why?
I think
No, I'm whispering.
think this means that the priest isn't burying people.
Maybe.
He's doing something with the bodies.
What could he possibly be doing with them?
Perhaps he's burning them. He did say they were diseased.
But why would there be graves then? That's so strange.
So people could come and visit their loved ones.
But why not tell people he's cremating them then? That's so odd. This is very, very weird.
I don't want to jump to conclusions, but maybe the mosquitoes and the lack of a burial is connected to the priest.
How could that
Well,
be?
yeah. But how? But
I,
why?
Andy,
Mhm.
for myself, this mosquito plague
Yeah, mosquito sickness is what people are calling it, and that's what the paper
kind
picked
of
up on.
showed up, and then a priest appeared
No.
amongst the people.
No, the
Nope.
priest showed up. You're gonna have to research that for sure. It's been months
Okay.
since the priest showed up.
Okay.
Give me an intelligence check. Um,
He could be experimenting on the bodies.
First case.
Tex was still
Regular
Tex was still in
success.
Tex was still
The
in
priest
town.
arrived near the beginning of April, and it wasn't till May was the first case of the mosquito sickness, the people started calling it that because it looked like you got bit all over by mosquitoes. And of course, Dr. Davis was like, that can't be it. It's got to be some kind of disease. And so people started calling it the mosquito sickness, and that's what they've been calling it since then. Yeah,
So
he showed up
in
early April. There's probably an article in the newspaper when he showed up.
Yeah.
Every time new people come to town, Cunningham finds out who they are and runs a little front page story like, ooh, it's exciting. So early April he showed up. Early May or mid-May was the first reported case of the mosquito sickness. Basically after you guys finished up with the first part of the campaign, and we jumped ahead a few months.
Yeah. Okay. It seems that it's unusual that this disease appears shortly after someone who claims to cure it.
Well,
And then now we are finding empty graves.
no, they weren't empty. They just.
It's an empty grave.
Okay.
You don't bury bags of sand.
True.
I don't.
Sacks of sand are not people.
They're
You know
not.
what? You know what he means. You know what he means. This is a
I
pointless
know what he means.
argument that you're having.
Do you think he's experimenting on the bodies and in hopes of curing it, or you're saying he might be fraudulent, as in these herbs are not actually curing people?
Let me
But
point
they
something
are.
out real quick, guys.
Yeah.
You're standing in a graveyard next to an open grave and an open coffin, having this
Oh.
little chit-chatty conversation. Okay, so just keep that in mind.
It's definitely.
Put it back.
How about we discuss this over a filled grave?
Yes,
So
that sounds good.
So again, if you're going to try to be quiet, it's going to take a while. It's going to take like another hour. That's going to be pushing close to midnight. About
shit.
10 or 11 o'clock. You could probably get back to the other
I'm
graveyard
less-
before midnight.
I'm less concerned about being that quiet right now because we have something on them and they may have something. Well, whatever they may have on us at this point in time, we have just as bad.
If you have
evidence
something on
against
them, why would they let you live?
I got guns though too.
Okay, fair
Well,
enough.
they-
Yeah.
We don't know if they're violent.
No, we don't.
No.
But you
Why
still
would we think they are?
illegally exhumed a grave. And if they're stealing
didn't.
bodies
There's
or
nothing
something
there.
or lying, they could be
Yeah,
bad people
you never know.
who would
Right.
not have a problem with gunning you guys down or
Well, where the hell are the bodies?
melting your bones or whatever. You don't know.
Uh,
Fernando, you're going to just basically close that coffin up and shove it back in the hole and then start just
and then start
chucking dirt and mud back on there.
not
Okay,
chucking,
okay.
But
So you're being somewhat careful not to make too much noise. But you're
And
not being as
as
careful as
we're doing
before.
that, we're
not as
talking
careful
about
as before.
speculating on where the bodies actually might be, I guess. Anybody have any ideas?
I think the only place
You're
that
still
makes sense.
you're still
is
standing out in the middle of the swamp talking about this.
I'm speaking in a slightly
we're-
more hushed tone.
As we're
but,
working.
I'm assuming we're all speaking all the time in hushed tones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also see the light of a torch further in to the woods, so you know
Did
because
we see two at one point in time, and with another one walking away?
yeah, spot hidden. If you think
okay.
you would be looking, or if you were more busy
yeah,
with the
probably
digging,
wasn't.
Yeah.
I probably wasn't paying attention.
yeah. So probably
Well,
nobody
maybe.
noticed the two torches shortly, a little while after whoever walked by, you guys walked by, but you can still see Shaeder's torch. Shaeder, your torch is about to go out. You're gonna have to. Do you have a third torch?
These are pretty much makeshift. I'm using wet wood for a reason
Okay.
to make
Okay.
smoke.
So you're having
So I'm
to keep.
basically
You're having
just-
to make
These
more.
are less perfectly prepared torches and more shit I've salvaged from my afternoon walk.
What are you using for like an accelerant too, on there?
A little bit of cordite.
Okay. Yeah, that works. So, go ahead, guys. If you guys want to stand out in the middle of the swamp and talk about this, you're more than welcome.
We're not standing, we're filling in the grave.
Okay, as you're filling in the
But
grave. But you're having trouble hearing if you want to keep your voices low.
I,
Because filling in a grave does
In
make noise
between,
as you move the dirt and stuff.
I,
in between
I
shovels.
would simply say, like, I don't think we have enough information to figure this out yet.
How are we gonna find a body before midnight? The ghoul needs a body. How are we gonna find one?
that one Undertaker seemed a little creepy. Maybe he has an idea.
Ugh,
Dempsey?
it's already been such an exhausting day. I
It hasn't, actually. You guys have hung out,
what?
you've had
Really?
meals, and you've sat around and chatted with people and had wine and whiskey. It's been kind of a
Yeah.
nice, relaxing
You
day
know, I'm
until
still gonna say
this
it.
happened.
Until we
I'm
dug
gonna
up
say
You
it
can
some
still say
because
it. You
man.
can still say it, yeah.
Isabella's exhausted right now from digging.
Yeah, you're probably all pretty tired.
I,
So,
Digging is heavy work.
Yes, it sucks
I,
balls.
I would assume that any recent graves might be similar here.
Oh, as you look at the other 3 new tombstones.
Yeah.
All of
similar
them
as
placed
in have
here.
sandbags in them?
Oh, no.
All of them
Kreiner doesn't
placed
know
here.
that information.
All of them placed here by the people in the infirmary.
Well, we can't really go for an older grave because it'll be too old for the ghoul. It needs to be within
I
a
don't think
certain
Loren meant that
time
way.
frame.
No. Do I know of any graves in town
Hmm.
of no recent deaths of natural causes?
No. Saltmarsh has a population of about 1,000.
Okay.
There are not deaths are not common. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are usually not gunning each other down and that kind of thing. That'd be the main.
The obituary
Alright.
is page 1.
Or people they just go missing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like a prospector heads up into some of the hills to do some prospecting, never comes back because there was a cave in or some animal got him or something. But lately, no, there haven't been any. There haven't been any
Okay.
deaths in Saltmarsh in the last month or so, aside from the mosquito sickness.
I have a plan.
No miscarriages
plan.
either.
Plan B. Are you ready?
Yeah.
With bated breath.
We go to Sarah Brown's farm if it's on the way to the
Yeah,
other
it's right next to the
graveyard.
cemetery. It's very close to the cemetery. Sarah Brown.
Perfect. Does she have pigs?
No. She has cows because she milks them. She's got bees for honey, and she's got chickens for eggs. She doesn't have any She doesn't have any animals she slaughters because she
Well,
provides
a
other
ghoul
services.
cannot abide a chicken, so
Probably
perhaps
not.
we go. That's from Fallout. um, but so we go to Sarah Brown's farm. We snatch up a chicken, and
Okay, let's add theft to
you
the
know,
list of crimes. Yeah, why
snap
not?
its neck, and somehow quietly.
Disguise it as a baby.
I mean, I don't know how to make it not squawk. I guess, but maybe we lure it out somehow.
You just ring it. You just ring its neck. It's a chicken.
Catch it while it's sleeping. You know,
But
surprise it. I don't know.
but
It'll probably make noise if we do that, but
you said you needed a bit older corpse.
oh,
And you said it had to be something.
yes.
I suggested going out into the swamp, and you said that was a bad idea.
Well, how are we gonna find anything in the swamp? I mean, sure there are dead things there, but I, we can't see anything. We don't have any light
No,
sources.
not now.
There's
Well,
been
I could
4
have when I
confirmed
suggested it
deaths,
6
Andy.
hours ago.
4 confirmed deaths from the mosquito sickness. Yes, you do know that.
All
over-
4 buried here.
Yes. Yeah, there was a stink when the first one was buried out here, but then Father Lyman came into town and talked to the council about this because you've been here about the potential of spreading the sickness faster, and convinced them and the family that it would be better to bury the bodies out here. That if once a cure was found or something, a real cure like then maybe they could be taken somewhere else. But they even made sure they gave them nice little tombstones. They're wooden, but they're very nice.
Unless you want to try maybe the first one. Maybe they didn't do that with the first one.
That
Maybe. It's another
how
hour
long
of
does the first
digging.
one last?
that was my
what's her-
only thought. If we could check the first person, and but I feel it is a wasted time.
I do too. I am tired of digging, and I don't want to dig
Then
another grave.
what else do we have to do?
I look
Are we going
elsewhere,
back
I suppose.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe they have the bodies somewhere else. I guess we could just try to think about it logically and.
No, that's not. You're never going to figure that out.
Oh my god!
You have no
We
clues
just keep
whatsoever
getting
where the
stopped at
body.
every turn.
Do what? I'm sorry.
We just keep getting stopped at every turn.
I'm just telling. You're the ones who decided to pick bodies from the sickness, and I'm just telling you what's in this scenario, and what happened.
Well, you learned something valuable. That
Mhm.
the bodies, the dead who died of the mosquito virus are not buried as said.
Correct.
So we have learned a
At least
valuable thing.
probably not.
But it
Or the
means-
mosquito virus turns them into bags of sand.
No.
I'll keep that as plan
Love
F.
Plan F. Yes. Plan X.
We could go
Okay.
tromping through the swamp and try to
Plan
find.
nine.
Yeah,
I'll
that's a
plan
terrible. You realize
No.
that's a terrible
No.
idea, just to go out in the
No,
swamp
no.
with no
I
lights.
know. I didn't realize it.
Okay,
I knew that.
which one of you
but
three has the lowest
obviously-
luck? I'm bored. Who's got the lowest luck? Whoever's got the lowest luck gets a luck check. You guys have been hanging around this
It's
graveyard for
not.
2.5 hours now. Maybe 3 or 4 hours. Who's got low luck for the three of you?
It's not me.
Okay. It's not
Mine's
Isabella?
got
a
a-
90.
I got a 45.
I
Isabella?
have awesome luck.
Is it? It's higher than 45? Okay, Fernando.
Oh yeah.
Make me a luck check.
Aaron always has the lowest luck.
41.
41 success.
I thought
All
it was
right.
Alonzo last time.
Nobody comes down to investigate people talking at the graveyard. So,
Yeah, but I'm not there.
no, you're not there. That's why you didn't have to make the roll. That's why you weren't
Okay.
included
Yeah, no,
in
no,
that
I was-
roll.
I wasn't sure.
I was rolling something else for myself.
Okay, he is completely separated from you guys when it comes to those kind of checks.
Okay. I didn't know what it was for. So.
I- So what happens if you don't feed the ghoul?
There's always a chance it could kill me. I wouldn't be surprised if it tried to do that, or it might just not help me. I don't know. Say some very rude words to me. I don't know. I can just avoid the whole graveyard and try to not die.
So what are we doing then?
There's the question.
So it would seem trying to appease the ghoul is not going to happen. I need to speak with the
Yes.
widow tomorrow and get the spell.
That's so disappointing.
You have a better idea?
Andy,
What are you guys doing?
is there no way? Is this impossible? What we're trying to do?
No, but you're not gonna.
If
If these bodies aren't here, you have no fucking clue where they are. So there's no way you're gonna find them. Okay. Period. You
So it's
can't just go
impossible, so we
looking
should give
for.
up.
Can't just go looking for graves out here in the swamp in the middle of the night with no moon and overcast skies. The fact that you're still
So this
hanging out
whole
and talking
Day was a waste.
Yeah.
and having a
I have a
conversation
sneaky suspicion
here,
where the bodies are.
huh?
But I have
That's
a sneaky
fine.
suspicion I know where the bodies are.
But right now you guys are at the
That's
scene of a
inside the affirmative
crime
structure.
and you're having a long ass discussion.
Yes, we
You
are.
really shouldn't do that.
It's not advised.
No,
Okay,
it is
I'm fine
ill-advised.
then. Whatever.
I
give up.
say we
I
head home.
Did everything I could possibly do. So
No,
whatever.
that would be going back to the graveyard in Saltmarsh. Would be doing everything you could possibly do. without anything. That's kind of where
Are
you're
we gonna-
stuck at right now.
That
Are we
sounds
gonna-
dangerous.
Are we
It
going to tell
possibly
him that?
is. Are you guys going to continue talking, standing by the scene of a crime? That's what I
No.
want to know first. You just going to keep having a conversation?
I just said I think we should go back to town.
Yeah, I guess.
We got
There's nothing
everything
else to
all
do
cut.
here.
We got
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. You filled it
We got
in. You were
everything all
talking about
buried.
digging
Right.
up another grave. Everything is done in this graveyard that you can do.
All right. Yeah.
As
Okay.
far as like leaving it as much as you can, looking undisturbed. You walk back and you find Shaeder.
That's what when I was rolling there, I made myself a con check to see, because I didn't get much sleep last night. Whether,
Did you
whether
succeed?
I did.
All
Whether
right.
between the lack of
Oh,
sleep and the
God.
smoking, I had drifted
Yeah.
off, but I did succeed on a con check.
Okay. So you
So,
find
the cat's
Shaeder
still awake.
and
Well, it
What?
took you lot long enough.
yeah, like 2 or 3 hours.
There was no body. And I just keep walking after
You just
that. I
walk
say
right
that.
by him as you say that. Okay.
Hold on a
Yeah,
moment. I'll
Isabella's
catch up. Didn't we?
really disappointed, so she
What do you
is
mean there was no
sulking and walking kind of by
I was
herself.
upset she didn't find a dead body.
And of course, I've grabbed the torch and I'm, moving at
Yeah.
the same rate.
What'd you say, Shaeder?
I said, "What do you mean there's no body?"
It's just bags of sand.
This while we're walking.
Yeah. I'm assuming you guys are
There's a-
heading back to Saltmarsh.
Like I said, he just
Yep.
keeps on walking at this point.
So, Father Finley, who claimed he was burying the dead, did not.
It would appear so, yes.
Which raises the question, why and what did he do with the body?
Sure does.
But
Well, the body didn't leave and it wasn't buried. Ergo, it's somewhere within his infirmary.
Or
Yes.
his home.
yes,
Or
but
so.
we can't
He did.
accuse him of not burying them without proving ourselves to be grave diggers.
Yeah, well, that's a bit
True.
of an issue, isn't it?
But we could maybe find out a different way. Somehow. I don't know.
This man
Watching.
clearly knows more than he lets on. What to do about that is a different issue. You know what?
Well, should we go back to the other graveyard tonight, or should we just
It's
scrap the whole idea?
if,
I favor having nothing to do with the ghoul, but I will tell you this. While Father Finley is out on one of his gathering expeditions, his home might be worth a little reconnaissance.
Oh, true. That's a good point. Well, I guess we can come back here. Different day.
Because I am now convinced the man knows far more than he admits to. I am not convinced that this is connected to Wilkes. But
Yeah.
perhaps it is.
And you go back to Saltmarsh.
Mhm.
Now, here's the question. We're going to stop here, but here's the question. Returning to Saltmarsh Graveyard that night, you still have time to get there. You probably have about an hour. Do you want to do that? We're not going to play that out tonight, but we can leave that as, are you going to return to the Saltmarsh Graveyard tonight or not?
I honestly don't know.
that's
What's a
up
better
to
idea?
It's really up to you.
It is really up to you. Because
Because
you're the one
you're
who
the
cast the
biggest at
spell,
risk.
and you're the one who made the agreement with the ghoul to see him the next night.
Yep.
So it's going to have to be Isabella's decision.
And I don't have there's no way to get any more information about whether a ghoul would kill me if I don't appease it.
Not in the time, not before midnight. That would actually
Or even
require
through my
some.
memory.
That would require some actual
Research.
research. It would take a few hours probably to look through your books, if you can even find information like that in there.
Well, I mean, if Isabella dies, oh well.
If she dies,
No!
then you
Make a new
can bring.
character.
No, sis Hutton. If she
Fine.
dies, you can bring in a new character if you want. I don't know. Friggin' Fernando has a rifle and 2 pistols. Alonzo's got a rifle and a pistol and a cutlass.
Oh.
Or sorry, a saber. I don't believe Hutton got any guns when you guys headed out for the swamp. Did you?
I did not distinctly say I was bringing my weapon.
And you've got two
We
heavily
did not,
armed
but we
men
can go back
going.
and get 'em.
You have Shaeder. You can go pick your gun up if you want to go with them, but keep in mind, Hutton, that you're feeling real shaky. You don't know, and you will have to see the thing to shoot it. You want to see it clearly. If you can be far enough away, like with a rifle, you could potentially hit it without getting a good look at it.
Are they talking about shooting the ghoul?
Yeah. No. I'm saying that
Well, I'm gonna get mine.
Miss
I think that's
Eldridge
what I'm
is
gonna do.
nervous because she's afraid the ghoul's going to attack her. I've pointed out to her, you're heavily armed, Shaeder's heavily armed, and Loren can get his rifle, and so can Miss Eldridge if she is really afraid that it's going to come down to that. I mean, you guys could all go to the graveyard ready to blow the ghoul away if it becomes violent.
Just in case. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So I mean,
That's what
if it's not like you're just going to go up there and... Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
That's the only circumstance under which I'm ready to do
Right.
that.
It's not like...
If I will happily defend Miss Eldridge from it. I will not happily bring in a body to feed on.
Isabella doesn't have to just walk into the graveyard just wearing a dress and whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? You guys can
and if
be
I have
ready.
time to change into a new dress.
Oh, you're also, all covered in mud. The three of you are. And
I guess I don't have time for a bath or anything.
No, you don't have time for a bath.
My
But
clothes.
I don't know why you'd want to change your clothes to go to the graveyard, personally. What does it matter at this point? But you can, if you want.
Well, I mean, I might not get messy there. I don't know.
That's not going to happen.
If
You're going to go see a
know.
ghoul. It's going to be fine. Everything will be fine.
I have plenty of clothes. It doesn't matter. If I have time, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you have time.
If we are going to the graveyard tonight, I will need to swing by my home.
Yes, it's on the way, actually, Sean.
All right.
Literally.
I'm going to pop in. I'm going to grab my Winchester.
It's not far enough out of the way to matter. So you've got your winch. So everybody's being heavily armed, heading for the graveyard. That's where we'll end the session. So we are going to go to the graveyard first thing, next game session, right around midnight, and see if you can either reason with or destroy a ghoul.
So what is that? 2 weeks?
Well, if you have to. Yeah. Can we play in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So potentially much action at the beginning of the next game session. Potentially, but not necessarily.
So that makes the 18th, I believe.
Yes. So, Kevin, question, comments, suggestions, favorite thing, least favorite thing.
Well, first thing, are we meeting for the Regency game next week at 8?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so for some reason, it's not in my calendar.
Okay, it's in mine.
So I am putting it in my calendar while I have the calendar open. 8 p.m. If anything changes, I'll let you know in that regard.
You guys have made progress. Hooray.
Yep. I like that. I like the plot twist. I do. That it turns out that there's more to it than that. The missing body.
There's not just bodies buried in the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting.
Odd. What is going
unexpected,
on?
actually.
Yeah. No, I like the way things are coming together in that regard.
Something's happening.
Everyone. Oh.
That was solid.
Cool.
Anything else? That, no, I'm good.
Fernando, questions, comments, suggestions, criticisms, favorite thing, least favorite thing.
I'm looking for a thing, so give me a second.
Yeah. I don't know a favorite thing. My least favorite thing is that lady flirting with me. I didn't want her to advances.
What?
That was out of character.
She was so cute. No, it wasn't out of...
Fernando, I'll say, he doesn't want to...
She has an appearance of 85, baby. So she is yummy.
Okay.
Fernando doesn't care.
Is Fernando a big flirt?
No,
yes, he is a big flirt.
Strange. That was strange to me.
Fernando's a big flirt, but he's not comfortable being flirted with.
Or it caught him off guard, or he was, I don't know.
He likes to be the pursuer.
The initiator.
That probably could be.
Of the flirting.
Weird.
That's fine. So you didn't like the flirting. I'm sorry. But you're probably the best looking character in the group who's a male.
I don't know whether that's entirely true or not.
Appearance?
What's your appearance, Hutton? I thought Fernando had a high appearance.
Yeah, wait, what?
60.
What's your
60 for Hutton.
Okay.
What's Fernando's? Above 60?
60.
Okay,
No,
so you
60.
guys tied. She picked him probably because of his beautiful mustache.
Yes.
And we have the same shade of skin.
Yes.
More than likely,
Yes.
too.
She appears to be from somewhere in Central Mexico or Central America, though if you spoke any Spanish to her, she did not reply and did not act like she knew what you were saying.
I did say gracias to her at
You
one
did say
point in
gracias,
time.
and she just gave you a blank look. So
Right.
she probably does not speak Spanish. Okay,
She could potentially be a
That's weird.
native.
poor Byron Strong. Okay, Miss Eldridge.
That was very sad too. That's something else I didn't like. Killing off an 8-year-old.
She's 10. So,
Yeah, no.
Miss
Not
Eldridge,
dead yet.
questions, comment. Wait, yeah.
Right?
You don't know she's dead for sure. Do you?
Yeah,
There's no bodies
I
in the
don't-
coffins.
Isabella doesn't think she's dead.
Questions, comments, suggestions, criticisms? Favorite thing, least favorite thing, Miss Eldridge?
Every character was very standoffish.
What?
I feel like
Clarissa wasn't
every-
standoffish. The father wasn't
Except for-
standoffish. He just talked over your head.
that's true. Okay,
Um,
except for Ed, I was gonna say, and
Ed!
Clarissa.
You didn't get to talk to Ed. You would have loved Ed.
Yeah,
Who else did you
I
talk
wanted to talk to him.
Oh, Mr. Strong, no. Mr. Strong was standoffish. His daughter is
Yeah.
dying.
He was.
Great-
And
Gravely
he did not have any
ill
interest in
and
talking.
then
Yeah,
dead, yeah.
he didn't have any interest in talking to any of you guys at that juncture.
And rightfully so.
And definitely the priest, the father, he was standoffish. Which I thought he was gonna be like really nice and
He was.
Sorry,
No,
kind
he
and bond
was
over
very-
herbs and like
was
He
very
did. He told you
matter of
about the
fact.
herbs, but he spoke to them in like
he didn't care though. He
Frickin-
wasn't like
He was matter of fact.
I don't know.
he was talking over your head because he has like 80% botany, and y'all have 1%. So he was talking about stuff, and it was just you couldn't get it. He wasn't being
Right.
standoffish. He was being very friendly, actually. Although he did have to get back to his
I didn't get
patients.
that sense.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But whatever.
I didn't mean for him to sound standoffish. He was just the things he was telling you just didn't make any sense to you because you don't have that kind of an educational background. You know,
Plus, we were sort of interrupting while he was trying to save people's lives. So I expected him
A
to
little
be
bit,
rather
yeah.
strict.
I was trying to offer to help though, and like he really didn't want my help at all, which is like I get the whole contagion thing,
mm-hmm.
but like I don't know, it just he came off as like really rude to me.
But
I
now,
thought.
now
Okay,
you
I
maybe
didn't-
fully understand why too. He doesn't
Yeah.
want you to.
Well, now
figure
you
out
know
what
what
he's
I'm
doing.
Maybe
Yeah.
he was being
Yeah.
a little standoffish. You know, yeah, maybe.
At first, I
I
thought
mean,
it
he
all made
clearly had a
sense.
secret.
Then the grave, like, wait, okay, this guy is suspicious.
He's not suspicious. He's a great guy. Okay.
Well, I wasn't suspicious until they opened.
Until they come and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's just bags of sand in the grave." Alonzo, what do you think of that? And you're like, "We must burn down the infirmary and kill everyone within."
So I kind of want to know.
I
where
did
it
think
comes
of.
Yeah.
I did think
That'd
of
be
something
nice.
else of where to get another body right away, but Fernando didn't know about it. But it also wasn't ripe enough.
Who? Bridget?
Bridget.
Oh.
Better than nothing though.
It wouldn't
but
have been very
actually,
right,
no,
but yeah.
because it's Bridget.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think Miss
No.
Eldridge would have gone for that, Aaron.
No, Fernando had no idea about it though.
That's
either.
right. You guys didn't talk to Strong when he went by. You just kind of
Right.
hid because you're like, "Oh shit,
Right.
kill them." And
Yeah.
he just left. He was so sad.
Say he would have.
I'll
But
I'll
Alonzo
hold him that
knows.
at some point on the way back.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'll retro that in.
I
That
would've- I
Alonzo
would've
mentions
mentioned that.
Bridget's death on the way back to
Yes,
town,
that
Oh
I
my
saw.
god.
and then
I'd
you.
say,
saw-
I don't know about that because that whole conversation may open up a whole other can of worms. Because if he's going to mention that, then Fernando would mention getting Bridget. Then,
Would he?
yeah,
Okay.
That wouldn't make any. I don't think anyone's gonna go for that.
No, it was too. Miss Eldridge wouldn't go for it, right?
right.
Josie,
I understand
you'd be
that,
like, no, not Bridget, and it's too fresh, or
Yeah,
some
yeah.
other excuse. You know, she's
Not
got
worth,
reasons not
like-
to use Bridget.
but, oh,
Many of
digging up
which-
someone,
Desecrating.
digging up someone else's loved one is just as better.
No, but she's a child, and I've met her, and we bonded, and all that.
Okay, so
Right.
Hutton, Loren Hutton. Questions, comments, suggestions, criticisms. Favorite thing, least favorite thing. Any of that you want to talk about?
Nothing really stood out except that
Aw.
I really do feel not in a bad way. it really has uh, come to the conclusion to me that Hutton's just going to have to tell the widow, here's what you have, here's what I plan to do, I need this.
Okay.
Like, it's just I don't see any other way that I can play this character other than telling her,
Okay.
the Wizard Wilkes is alive.
We want to bring
I
him
need
back
this
so I can
spell.
murder him.
I need this spell to bring him back to the waking world.
If you neglect to tell her that you're going to kill him, that's
yes,
fast
I'll
talk.
have to make a fast talk.
Yes. So that's going to be tough, potentially. I guess I need to roll her up. So I got some stats for her
Oh God.
to know how hard it is to lie to her. Maybe. We'll see. I've been trying to roll up at least one character in between each game session. Somebody from town. Like I got Byron Strong. He's statted out.
Like,
So
I've been trying to think of a better way of doing this, and I think I've just gotten to the point where the only way I can do it is to just do it.
okay. If that's what Hutton has to do.
And Hutton can't, like, he's not a nefarious individual. Like,
That's why you need a friend to go break into her house for you.
that's why I brought it up.
Okay,
I
well,
mean,
you can bring it up and talk to the
whole
group.
Temperance League thing.
Well, I brought it up,
But-
and everyone's just like,
Right.
yeah, I guess we have to talk to her. I was like, no! Someone break into our house, steal this thing that we don't know where it's at.
Well, Hutton should suggest.
you
Hutton
screwed
could
that-
suggest that too.
You screwed that up, though. You screwed that up already, though.
Whatever. Is she gonna have him thrown in jail for stealing an old newspaper that's no good anymore?
That's true.
Ooh, you're gonna go to jail for a long time, Hutton, for stealing that old newspaper nobody ever cared about.
I
Oh.
mean, if you want someone to do it, then maybe you should do it.
He's not a thief!
You live there.
He lives in
Might as
another
well.
building, though. Aside from that,
But
but
it-
You're literally the closest to her,
He is.
you're
but
closest. You got to do it.
and you're the
so
one
that's
that
not
wants to
actually
do it
gonna
the
have to be
most.
honest. But
Anyway.
like, you know,
You,
good.
you have options. You have different options still.
I
I'd
honestly,
suggest
I
you
will
think
say,
about
I-
it in between
yeah.
game sessions.
I
try to-
haven't.
All right. I appreciate
I will
that.
say I do like that the grave was essentially empty.
It has been that way since forever. It's always been
Yeah,
that way.
I know.
This-
I know. I figured it wasn't a last.
you guys saw the maps that I was showing you, right? It's not like I
Yeah.
just pulled those out of my ass. So
That's true.
you've
It's
gotten
just
caught
like,
up in something
oh,
else here, and yeah, those graves
That
are
was
always.
a surprise.
You don't have to.
I-
You don't have to excuse yourself.
No, because
It's-
I was
it's a perfectly
playing
good plot
Hutton
twist.
with
I love
having
it.
this idea that
Oh,
maybe
hold
the
on.
mosquito plague. Oh,
What?
Maybe a what?
Sounds like his
What?
mom. Probably talking to his mom.
What did you say, Sean?
I'm waiting for Andy to come back.
Okay.
He's dealing with his caretaker
Oh.
issues.
Elderly mom,
Yeah.
yeah.
I figured.
Gotcha.
How old is his mom?
I don't know.
She's got to
She's
be in her
got to
80s.
be in her 80s. I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think she might even be older than my dad. So
I mean, so I'll put it in this instance.
Are y'all talking bad things about me?
No,
So-
actually,
Oh.
I was gonna bring up something that Josie and Kevin wouldn't actually know. Andy's dad was briefly my dad's teacher.
Oh, gee, we've talked about this, I think.
Oh my god.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
I'm
think
like
you
15 or
really
18
mentioned
years older than Sean, so.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
how old are you,
Yeah,
Andy?
actually, I do
59.
remember that. You did say that.
You're 59.
had,
You
yeah.
are 17 years older than me.
17.
like
You
they
old
put a number on it.
motherfucker.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm old. I'll be dead soon.
Oh my
You guys did
I
pretty
still love
well.
you.
I'm sorry if I
Alright.
got
Oh, you were in the
annoyed.
middle of saying something, though. You
Oh,
were,
I'm sorry. Go
in
ahead.
the middle of a sentence before.
When? Go ahead.
No, I forget what I was talking about.
I'm sorry that I got annoyed at you guys for standing around the scene of a crime and having a
Yeah.
15-minute long discussion. But it was. You got to think about your
That
surroundings.
was less annoying than the one before.
Is
At
it
the
really a
saloon
scene of
where
a
we were
crime,
like-
though, when it's just
The
a bunch of
saloon.
sandbags?
Well, it's the scene of two crimes.
You don't know who put
Yeah.
those there, or if
Yeah.
they're coming back. When did they take the bodies out? Was it the people in the infirmary, or was it somebody else or something else here in the fucking swamp? Then you're just hanging out in the swamp, having a lengthy discussion as you're standing over a coffin, an open coffin with sandbags in it. What if somebody did stumble across you? Hey, these people stole the body and they put sandbags in. It's just,
Where
Yeah,
you put the
it's a crime.
body?
Grave robbing is a crime too.
yeah. I'm just saying. You got to think about your surroundings. And in a case like this, my characters are always like, okay, quick, fucking bury this thing. We'll talk about this back in town. Because it did no good to talk about it out there. You certainly weren't going to decide to go
I mean,
search the swamp or something. There's
It
no way you'd
takes
find it.
time. It
Yeah.
takes time to
To bury it, yes.
rebury a non
But you guys were just standing around chatting like you were in a safe spot, and you weren't.
That's not really how I saw it for the most part.
That's
I
how
don't
it
know.
was. You guys were not in a safe place. You were over an open grave, and you had a long conversation. And I was just like, what do they do? That's why I made Aaron do a luck check eventually. Somebody was going to notice you guys out there. Something, someone, who knows
well.
what. But he made the luck check for now.
Barely.
Barely. So all I'm saying is you got to think about your surroundings. What was the other time that you were talking about, Josie?
In the saloon when everybody didn't want to go to the infirmary for some reason.
Oh.
That was much longer.
It
much
was,
longer.
but you were still in a safe
conversation.
place to have the conversation. Yeah, and it was way too long of a conversation. And you know what? You guys aren't all attached to the hip. And one person could have gone up to the infirmary if they'd wanted. If nobody else wanted to
we didn't all
go,
have to
don't
go.
come. I don't care.
I just figured Hutton at least would want to go because
Yeah.
Well, you needed
I
Hutton.
figured he would want to maybe do some more interviews and
You
that
needed
kinda-
Hutton to show you where it was. He was the safest one
yeah,
to take
but
you because
that
he'd been
was
there.
the guise of going there.
Yeah.
It's the interviews.
Because all I know is there's been a lot of scenes in Kevin's game that I have cut the scene. Okay, we're done here. Let's get the hell out of here. Especially on Duck Island and all that crap. And it was just like, let's go, let's go. This is not a good place for us to have any kind of lengthy conversation.
And you weren't wrong about it.
I know. Okay, so we're going to end the stream. Thanks anybody who's still here. Is anybody still here? I don't know. I don't know if anybody's here. Is anybody here? Yes, people are here. Hey, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you who came by. Ghost Girl Lillian and Ash of Armageddon. Thank you for writing in the chat. I appreciate that too. I hope you guys found it. I hope you all found it interesting. Anybody else that came, I appreciate you. I appreciate my players. You really drive me crazy sometimes. But Josie, don't get discouraged. Just because a plan doesn't work out means time for another plan.
Yeah.
That's all there is to
It's
it.
just hard, man.
And-
This is a hard game.
I'm not. I didn't throw bags of sand in those coffins to fuck with you. Those coffins always had bags of sand. And you guys were the ones who thought of, hey, we could take the sickness victims. And I was like, oh, they're going to be so upset. But at least it was a good idea. It was a great idea.
good idea.
That's why I let you guys play it out.
And it was a fun twist. I mean, it was like disappointing, but it was a fun twist.
I don't usually
So.
fuck with people and deny them their plans to fuck with them. I'll
Right.
do it if it makes sense in the story or if it is already part of the scenario that we're playing. So,
Right.
thanks
I get
everybody,
that.
and thanks for
Fun.
all the viewers who came, and we will talk to y'all next time. Bye.